All right, welcome to the Sae Bae cast number 256 with Thurco. Thurco, how are we doing today?
I am doing great, my man. How are you doing?
Pretty good. It has been 249 episodes since your last appearance.
It's
That
honestly slightly impressive that you've done that many episodes in 4.5 years, to be honest. That's kind of crazy, actually.
there is no way I would have thought this would have continued for this long. I feel like jumping into it with the Jukebox Romeo episode and then like several other streamers and stuff, I was like, okay, this is kind of fun and all, but eventually it'll just die down like every other project in my life has ever died down. But no, I just ended up keeping it up. So it's really, really cool. And we were just kind of talking because your episode was January of 2021. And we were just kind of like thinking like, what were you and I doing back then, like in game and whatever else? And it sounded like just a couple months prior, you had just got your Nibbler pet on your main, which you went like super dry for. I don't know if you want to like revisit that story briefly. I'm
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. So it was I think 215 KC, which is I somewhere around 4 times the rate. And yeah, oh man, it was so crazy because it's one of them ones that you go into it expecting to just get it quickly because it's quite common, and I ended up kind of losing my mind a little bit. It was peak lockdown, and my schedule. I didn't get let go, but I got put on furlough from work for like 3 months. So my schedule was wake up, do my socially distanced walk down to the shops to grab 3 energy drinks, back home, stream for 10 hours doing Inferno, go to bed. It was not great.
That is the life, actually. That there is something special about walking and just picking up a few energy drinks and some snacks. I remember doing that in Alabama, just living out there, and we had like one of the most ghetto gas stations of all time. But I just walked down there, and there's just something special about just grabbing what you need for the day. You know what I mean? Instead
Yeah,
of like kind of bulking up and just like, here, I'm gonna buy a bunch of just mass energy drinks or whatever. There's something really special just about just like taking that small walk and getting some fresh air, grabbing the things you need, and
that was me every single day before stream from 2016 to probably 2021 was get up, go to the shops, get an energy drink or two, probably some sort of snacks. Pretend it was for the mental health benefits of getting outside. When in reality,
yeah,
I
yeah,
didn't want to feel like a degenerate buying like a 10 pack or whatever.
yeah, yeah. That
Oh
is
man.
so. Let's. I guess I don't even know if you have kind of gathered all your thoughts about what has happened since then, because I know you like definitely had a burnout of RuneScape. It felt like, at least to me, I don't know if you were still playing. I mean, I know the streams faded away. Now you've started up a YouTube, and I just want to know, like, how did that journey get to where you are now, and where are you at this point?
Yeah, so I mean, right now I'm very much I play. I'm playing consistently like every day, and having a full time job that is work from home helps a lot. So I do like most of my skilling sort of kind of during work or whatever. Um, I'm very much like an everything kind of player now. Like I do PvM, I do skilling, combat achievements, pets, stuff like that. But yeah, so, I mean the streams they vanish. Like I kind of realized quite quickly, um, just at a random point that it sort of just wasn't doing it for me anymore. You know, like I would go live and if the stream went well, it's like, oh, okay, that was good, I guess. And if the stream went bad, it just completely ruined my day. So there was a very obvious switch sometime in like I want to say like late 2021 maybe, where I just was like I just don't want to stream anymore. I just stopped, and it wasn't even a gradual thing. I streamed every day or like 5 or 6 times a week. Um, and then one day I was just like, yeah, that's it. I told people it'd be a short break and just never came back.
Yeah,
I'm trying to think what I did in the meantime. Like I think I played other games. and like very casually played RuneScape for maybe 2 years before sort of really coming back in like late 2023, I want to say, somewhere around then.
So I'm curious, was it just the stream itself that would just, you know, if you had a good stream, obviously it was good, but just if it wasn't good, it would ruin your day. Do you think you were enjoying RuneScape at the time? Do you think there was a consequence to not enjoying the stream that made RuneScape like worse, or was it just kind of like a burnout of RuneScape simultaneously?
I think in my head at the time, the only time I played was when it was on stream. So they were really linked. So my gaming became more about what can I do to make like a fun stream. Like I was doing Hardcore Iron Man Corrupted Gauntlet, which sucks. It's just terrible, like stressful and not really that fun. But I would be doing that because in my head I had to get views to make the stream good, so that I'd have a good evening or whatever. And I think it must have been, it really turned me off the game, because as soon as I stopped streaming, that's when I stopped playing as well, right? So yeah, it's, I think linking them like that was really, really bad for my enjoyment for the game overall. So it's been really nice over the last 2 years, like even before I started YouTube and stuff, my gameplay was very much free flowing, do what you want, do what you enjoy, no schedules, no restrictions, no nothing, and it's been a really like refreshing way to play the game. Very much enjoy that more so than needing to log in and be like, right, I can't do barb fishing tonight because no one wants to see that. I need to go do probably delve. Like right now I'd be delve, like I have to be doing delve on stream. It's, I don't know, it's a very stressful way of playing, I think, which is not what you want to be doing for your hobby, I feel like.
And the sad thing is I feel like when creators start streaming, that's not what's going through their head. They're really doing what they want to do. And somehow it just sort of naturally progresses into like, I now feel obligations to do certain things because, I don't know, there's almost like an audience capture in a way of like, it feels like my audience wants this. And so if I don't give it to them, I just feel like I'm a failed creator or something. So it just is so unfortunate how most people get into streaming absolutely loving it and just devolves over time.
Yeah, I think it's so... You see it all the time. I think the people who are in the biggest trap are the hardcore Iron Man people. Yeah, some of them, not all of them. To be fair, not all of them, but I think there are some you can tell. They think they have to be doing hardcore to get viewers. So they die and they're like, I guess I have to remake now. And I have to get back to doing hardcore Iron Man Yama. Otherwise, no one's going to watch me.
Yeah.
It's a real shame because that's definitely just not the case. Like, there are people doing all sorts of stuff and getting views, but it's so easy to get in your head about it, man. Like, super easy.
I mean, this is obviously one of the hot button issues right now, or not issues, but just the hot topic is, hey, Jase, completely revolutionizing his streaming content. So for those that aren't aware, which I'm sure is nobody, everyone has heard of Hey Jase Rank 2, maxed or got 200 mil all, I believe, in 2019. I want to say it was 2019. Maybe it was 2020.
So long ago.
Yeah, seriously. That was like when I started streaming. And from that point onward, all he has done is like clogged and pet hunted and done a shit ton of clues on his main account and just progressed the fuck out of his main Hey Jase account. And as of like, 3 days ago or 4 days ago, he has now put the main aside and is playing an Iron Man for the first time in his life. That
cool.
Is crazy. What were your thoughts on that? Because I know you and Hey Jase are pretty close. I mean, I know you guys have been friends for years. I'm sure you were watching when he first started streaming.
Yeah. I mean, me and Jase have been close for forever. Less so recently, just because I've not been watching Twitch, but like I still have very much been rooting for the guy from the shadows. And Yeah, just so cool to see. I think he was exactly like we just described, where he must have just been so in his head for a while. Like, knowing him, he must have been thinking about this for absolutely ages. Just over and over in his head, something needs to change, something needs to change. But I can't do Iron Man because I'm the guy who plays a main. So I'm so glad that he, one, made the change, and two, that it's just going so well for him. Like, I'm just super happy.
It's
Genuinely never saw it coming.
Yeah, no, that's the really refreshing thing, is to see, because Jase has notoriously been like super set in his ways on like how he plays, how he views the game, and like, I mean, I remember even just a matter of like a couple of years ago, he was like anti Iron Man for years. I don't know if it was anti Iron Man a couple of years ago, but he was definitely like, I'll never do it. I'm always gonna play this account. And he was also like even against YouTube and just like, I'm a streamer, like this is what I do, I'm gonna be doing this. And
Yeah,
he was very set on that. And so it's so cool, in my opinion, to just see that real change of like, you know what, maybe this is for the best, to like really take a massive step away from it all. And I asked him if he would want to come back on the cast. This is back in like May. And he was just talking about how like he's just not in like the greatest spot to talk about the game because of just the game's direction, and he has just always felt this lingering dread of sailing coming out. It's just I know it's like a matter of time when this drops, and like I don't want to be that guy. And he's very self-aware. Like he recognized like I don't want to go on the cast and then just like shit on sailing and say like I don't like the game's direction and just have like a bad view of it. But he also wants to be honest with himself. He doesn't want to just lie and say everything's great and jolly and like I'm feeling so good about everything that I'm doing in the game and the game's direction. But you know, like there always is that chance to like make an Iron Man. And this is coming from personal experience, having played a super progressed Iron account and then having completely stopped playing it. I'm playing a new Iron, which, you know, some people think is just bizarre. Why would you just make a new Iron? But the refreshing nature of starting something new is so exciting. And I just was like, there always is that possibility, you know. I'm hoping that a little bit of my conversation with him, as well as thoughts on his own and probably other people in his community, led him to really take that dive. So I'm so fucking thrilled with it. I think he's,
I mean,
yeah.
it probably was that conversation a little bit, because I guarantee just from knowing him, I would be amazed if he came to that decision like fully on his own. Because it would have just been so deep rooted as like, this is just not an option. The feeling of sailing coming out, like it's such an unfortunate position because he's such a consistent player, but this just doesn't reward that. Like it's sort of taking his achievement and just making it not worthless, but going forward, like he's losing his rank that he worked so hard for 2013 until 2019, so 6 years.
Yep.
Of really consistent gameplay, and it's just gone. Like I would also have dread, I think, if that was my situation and I was just going to be having I was going to say my persona, but it's not really a persona, is it? It's sort of like part of an identity, I guess.
Yeah.
It was just going to go in one update. Like that's just brutal. So, and then you have to get reminded about it every day, about 5 times an hour, by people who you don't know on stream, just constantly.
And
not fun.
Another bad part is it's not just losing the rank, but it's also like, go grind 200 mil sailing now because you're the guy that's known for being 200 mil all. So why are you not grinding sailing? So now there's like this feeling, probably just this absolute pressure to now for the next 3 months grind sailing and then not even get the rank back. And I'm sure you're going to have such a blast doing sailing, right? Like for fucking however many hours, 2,000, I don't even know how.
Yeah, it's like, how are you meant to enjoy it? Even if it comes out good, how are you meant to enjoy it in that situation? Like, you're basically being forced into training it because, like you say, he's that guy. Like, he's that 200 mil all streamer.
Yeah.
And he will just, if he was on his main, he would just be getting bombarded with, why aren't you sailing? Why aren't you sailing? You're not 99 yet? What's going on? Like, it's just not fun. Not a good situation.
I think one of the other things I mentioned was like, to Jase in our DMs was just like, you should just out of pure spite, just keep Hey Jase at 4.6 bill on the dot and just never train sailing on it. Just there you go. You've solidified like your, I don't know. In my opinion, it's just like that would be, if you're really just opposed to like going down that route of training sailing, losing your rank, and continuing to play the main when you're not even really enjoying it. And just he's sinking so many hours into it. He's said on stream, I mean, he's doing like 35 hours a week of clues off stream just to provide those like Sunday casket openings. Like that is exhausting.
He shoots, 5 hours a day as well, doing
just doing
relatively in-depth content. Like,
yep.
It's a lot. It's a lot of playing.
It is a lot, and so I'm like, I think it would be cool to just see it as like a legacy of just like, you did so much on this account, and to turn the page and just enjoy something and really be able to liberate yourself from it all and just enjoy the game for what it is. And I think I think Jase is going to absolutely blow up on YouTube as well, because he has decided that he's going to be making a series with the new Iron Man. I just think that's so fucking exciting, just because
I'm so hyped. So hyped.
He's actually like, I feel like would be such a good classic sort of series YouTuber, kind of like on the level of B0aty. I think B0aty has like that overall like super charisma and hype about his videos, but like Jase could provide that like really just grounded sort of ramble nature vibes about what he's doing on his Iron Man. I just think it's
giving me like Alcon vibes.
Yes.
Like Alcon progress videos, have him come back through the vessel of Hey Jase. Like, yeah, I'm here for it. I'm really looking forward to it. I'm super interested to see if, like what you said about him just leaving his main at 4.6. I'm really interested to see if he will go back to it at all. Like, if he will AFK something on the side, if he'll, I don't know. There's still a lot to do on that account. Like for his goal, like the collection log is obviously a bit of a crazy goal, but he could be. I don't know how you get clues AFK these days or ever. I've never done clog really, but like he could be doing like Sarachnis maybe, but that's quite a lot, I guess, to do on the side. I don't know. I don't know if there's anything he can just AFK.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there's got to be something, but I honestly, again, this is projection on my part, but as soon as I started playing another account, it just became more and more solidified that I don't really want to play on Sae Bae because all the goals are so fucking long now. It's like I'm hunting like a few, I mean, at this point I'd be hunting like all the new bosses and stuff, their items, but at the time it really felt like I'm going for an Ellie, an Eldritch, a fucking Sanguinesti, which is useless. Like it felt, and then just pets at that point. And I think if Jase is anything like me, logging into the account that was giving you any bit of dread in the first place, which I'm sure there's like just some bad sort of aura about re-logging into Hey Jase, remembering maybe his feeling of like his stream isn't growing because of it, or like just how vast amount, the vast amount of hours it takes to get to the next goal of his, to get another third age piece or whatever he's hunting. I just feel like that vibe that you get when logging in is going to turn him off of like even AFK progressing it. That's at least what happened to me.
It almost just feels pointless, and not just pointless, but yeah, like you say, like you have sort of not like a hatred, but just you look at the thought of logging into that account, it's like, no, I don't want to do that. There's so much more fun to be had just completely ignoring that account and going your own way.
Yeah, and
yeah, I like it.
The more you just kind of experiment with other things, I feel like that sort of pressure that he put on himself, and I put it on myself as well with my Iron Man, of like, I want to keep progressing this Iron Man. I want it to be like full completionist. I feel like me and you sort of had that same mindset of like just overall player, love the skilling, love the PvM, love the clogging, whatever else. And Sae Bae was all that, but it just feels like when the goalposts keep moving forward, there's just no end to it, and you just have to recognize like there is no completing this game ultimately. And so you just got to be having as much fun as you can, whether that be playing on a super progressed account and continuing to grind it with the understanding that this is not ever going to be completed. If that's what you really enjoy, like that, hell yeah, all power to you. But I think what's really important is to just like take a step back and be like, what would I actually enjoy doing most? So
yeah, definitely. How long have you had your new account now? Because I know you keep saying new account, but it's been a while now. I feel like
10 months. Yeah. Almost a year.
Yeah.
I mean, it's 2133 total, so we're getting up there.
Not bad.
Yeah,
it's not bad.
Yeah. I got 2 Hydra claws and leather by 250 Hydra.
Holy.
I was there's like
250.
Yeah, 250. Literally my first task. Like basically. I think it was
crazy.
like just entering my second task I got the leather, but like yeah, there's certain grinds on this game where, man, going dry on Hydra on an Iron Man is just fucked to think about. So I was very happy about that. But yeah, the account's coming along nicely.
I'll have to admit, watching, I think it was quite early into the account, you were doing Canvas rooftops, and I think it was a video explaining why you had started the account. I watched that video and it made me log into my hardcore for about a week. and then I realized I really wanted to do Inferno, and I was trying it, and I have 5 armor pieces and both weapons, and I was like, surely I can do Inferno with this. And I quickly realized I need to do CG on that account for 1 more armor seed, and I logged out. It's just completely toasted me, the thought of doing CG on that account.
Oh,
can't be doing it.
You basically have to like tier 3 armor, right, on a hardcore to play it like super safe.
Yeah, I think I started doing tier 2 because I don't know, I just couldn't get consistent preps. So I ended up doing tier 2, and it is a little more dangerous. But that account does have 97-ish HP, so I just sit really high HP and it's okay. But
yeah,
it's not fun. It's really not fun.
Yeah, there's something. I mean, let me ask you about hardcore versus normal iron, because I feel like there always is this extra excitement with the hardcore, but it comes with so many downsides. It feels like just like that anxiety and like the fact that you could just go to do CG with tier 1 armor as a hardcore and just fucking go just nuts mode on it. But as soon as you die, people are just going to accuse you, or not accuse you, but just be like, what's wrong with you? Why didn't you just play it safe? And I feel like there's no winning. It's like you either play like a pussy and are like, just as soon as you got your death tweet and you've played like a pussy, they just are like, wow, this guy's not even a real hardcore. But then if you do anything actually dangerous that's risking it, it's like, why are you risking this, you dumbass?
Yeah.
It's just, there's no winning.
You can't win on the death tweets because, like you say, either technically not doing PvM that's dangerous for no reason is sort of technically the right thing to do, I imagine, but it's also quite boring. So yeah, I see people getting flamed because they've not done like, I don't know, TOB. They've not been tobbing on their hardcore when they could have been, and it's like, well, nothing from there is. I mean, Scythe is obviously amazing, and Avernic's really useful, but if you as a player know you're going to die doing it, it's probably best to just avoid it. I don't know. I started hardcore over a regular iron because the sort of the thrill made iron just so much more interesting. Which is now ironic that the thought of doing thrilling CG on a hardcore is kind of what's toasted me from that account, but maybe I'll still be going if I was a regular iron, I don't know. I don't know why, but just regular iron just never really appealed, whereas hardcore does. So yeah, it's a bit strange.
Yeah, I think that's most people. I think, especially if you've only really done a hardcore, I think playing the Iron Man with the sense of progression, because you have your main account, which you get that sensation, at least what I would think of like progressing an account ultimately with no end to it. And I think that's the kind of craving that I was definitely like needing, and the Iron Man, just normal Iron Man, like definitely gave me that. I think hardcore these days is just obnoxious with even though it's like been such an amazing update to have that escape crystal, it just feels like you have to play in such a particular way now where you're like constantly spamming your F keys to not like AFK for 2 seconds so your guy gets tellied out of anything dangerous. Like if you really wanted to play optimally, like that's the kind of shit Lake does or Mutz does. It's like your telly crystals on fucking 3 ticks or 2 ticks or whatever it can be, and you're just permanently locked into the game and you have to telly out of anything dangerous. It's just it's a crazy experience, and I feel like that's just like not even like that's just a lot. It's a lot to deal with.
I know what you mean. It's like that crystal is what everybody wanted, and then they got it and they realized, hold on, I can't even really like AFK Slayer anymore.
Yeah.
I can't do a Necreal task without spamming my F keys because I've got my escape crystal on three ticks in case a superior spawns. Like, not fun.
Yeah, and
to me anyway.
I'm really happy that like one, being an Iron Man, you get the wilderness. You don't have to drop clue scrolls as much. You can actually just go do them. You can like go to. You can just like risk everything. Like you can be very low HP at a boss that's very low HP, and instead of teleporting out and be like, no, it's not worth it. You just fucking risk it. And if you die, it's whatever. I just love the potential to just take those chances and not have to just never take the chances. And then eventually die anyway and then feel like shit. And then it's either you continue as an Iron Man and you feel like shit, or you just remake and it's like, well, fucking back to the same old shit, you know?
Great, I'm back to Temperos, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. It goes both ways though, because there's always a part of me that's like, man, it would be sort of fun to be a hardcore, but yeah, I don't know.
I think the allure is kind of gone a little bit now because everyone is so good. Like when I was last playing my hardcore, the thought of someone doing Tob on a hardcore was like, what? They're number one on Twitch for their entire grind. Like everyone is watching to see if they die, and now people do Tob and their hardcores just like for a laugh. Like it's just a checkpoint almost. People are just so good at the game now that nothing is that dangerous aside from, very niche content.
And then you got players like Mutz, who has just fucking done everything on a hardcore. And I don't know how the hell he hasn't died yet. Literally, if you were to have told me 6 years ago, 5 years ago, or whatever, when I was first watching Mutz with like his early hardcores that he was dying on, I just still remember that clip of him dying to like armadillo, armadillo minions.
It just took me a second to process what you said. Yeah, that was silly. Bless him.
Yeah, but it's like watching that clip and not really having watched too much of Mutz. I just, just to clown a little bit. He does not deserve to be clowned. Like this guy is fucking amazing at the game. Probably 100% the greatest hardcore we've ever seen in this game, which is just amazing. But I still remember like that clip was scarred in my head, and then just watching him do chambers with, I swear he had like a fucking 50 hertz monitor because his clicks just seemed atrocious. It was just like, what the fuck is going on here? It's like, dude, your cursor is shaking everywhere. It just seems like there is no consistency with this. And I think it was more a hardware issue than his actual like skill. And there was no way in my mind I would think that he was ever going to be the greatest hardcore. I just thought he was going to be like perpetually sort of like early mid to just barely touching late and then die and remake. But just to think these days that he is the greatest hardcore player that's ever graced the game is just so impressive to me.
I had literally the exact same opinion as well. Like the whole time, I really like Mutz. I think he's a great guy.
He is.
The whole time as he was progressing, I was like, he's not that good. He's not that. He's just survived on his hardcore. He's not that good. But it's because he's a hardcore. He never had he was never like speedrunning Tob or anything. Like he was just surviving.
Mm-hmm.
But then I see him doing stuff like the Colosseum CAs without dying. Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
How? What is he doing?
Full Blorva.
Crazy. Yeah. Oh, how did I not even mention Blorva? Yeah.
Yep.
Like he did Blorva without dying. That's mental. It doesn't make any sense. Like it's alien, and he's just so good at the game. Like You can't even, obviously no one's disputing it anymore. But I think for a long time, a lot of people was, if both of us had that opinion, I'm sure a lot of people did. But now it's so clear. He's insane.
He is. That's the coolest part, is he has really defied like so much of the sort of doubt that anybody in the community had. It just completely, I mean, he has Radiant Oath Plate, I'm pretty sure, on his
for
fucking
no reason.
Like, yeah, this is nuts. Radiant Oath Plate. Blorva has a Zuckhelm, which just perpetually just gotten his Zuckhelm over and over and over. I'm just blown away. I'm truly like, you are insane. Like, and people can, I haven't heard anybody say this, but if anybody were to say like, oh, well, he just gets to practice on his main account a bunch of times till he gets it. Bro, that's fucking exhausting. It's exhausting to practice things like that. Like, he did, I don't even know how many practice attempts he did for like Vardorvis, Awakened, and whatever else, the Awakened variants, but he works. Like, he's putting in fucking mad effort and work into like these achievements. It's so impressive.
I find that argument really funny because you can practice Awakened Vardorvis as many times as you want on a main. The second you log into a hardcore, your heart rate is jumping 100 beats per minute. And most people are still not doing it. Like, with that added pressure, it makes it so much more difficult.
Yeah, I
wonder if he's going for the Delve CAs. Sure, I mean, surely he has to at some point, right?
100%.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, he's the beast. Speaking of Delve, actually, what are your thoughts on Widega? That dude going for did he get 221? Is that still PB?
I don't know if that's still world record, but I think he did get that. Yeah, he is also just mental. Like, I don't get it where these people have came from. I first saw his stream maybe like a month before Delve came out, and he was just bouncing between like Awakened Duke speedruns, Awakened Vardorvis speedruns. And I remember just tuning in, he had like 40 viewers, and I was just sat there like, what the heck? What is this guy? He's done Awakened Vardorvis faster than most people, like close to world record, whilst just like talking to chat, like answering questions. He's just mental. Like, he's just insane at the game. And then you tune in a month later, and he's doing Awakened Vardorvis with only thralls and recoils, which is just like, what? It doesn't even make sense. But he's doing that whilst just chatting to his viewers. And it was almost just like a viewer suggestion, like, hey, you should just go and try this fun challenge. It took this other guy like 20 attempts. You should go see if you can do it. And he's like, oh, okay. Just shows up, does it. God. Makes no big deal out of it. Like, he's too good at the game. It's wild.
He is, and he was the first to get Radiant Oath Plate, which that's insane because, again, I think it's really easy to overlook how difficult it is to almost pioneer the method, basically, or like to get a world first is so much more difficult than getting it later on when there's all these guides and you've seen how it's done a million times by streamers. It's like literally, like if you had your memory erased and they're like, here's some contracts for you, go get Radiant Oath Plate, you'd have no fucking idea where to even begin. Like, what is happening? And to pioneer that is just wild.
Because even now, even when they're solved, it's like they're confusing. The thought of going into that blind it's the sort of PvM that I'm just not tuned for, if that makes sense.
Mm-hmm.
Like pioneering stuff like that, I didn't even try because I just knew I wasn't going to get anywhere close. So it's super impressive to me that people are able to figure out these super hard challenges that quickly. And actually, there's a funny anecdote that I found out the other weekend about, or like a funny story about the first Radiant Oath Plate. I don't know if this is true, so anyone listening, don't quote me, but apparently he did half of them, left to go graduate, came back and still beat everyone else. Like, he literally left to go to his graduation.
Oh my god.
That's like, what the hell?
The dude, and he's so nonchalant about fucking everything. His stream vibe is so chill. Yeah, he's
It makes me wonder. Sorry,
yeah.
go on.
No, go for it.
How quick do you think people, if Inferno came out today, do you think that would be like maybe not a one and done, but sort of very, very quickly done if that came out today, like a 1 day sort of thing? Or because obviously that it was like 4 days, I think, that it took Wooks. I think someone like Widega just goes in and does it in like 5 attempts, honestly.
Yeah, that would be really interesting because I think. Okay, so I'm imagining a world where Inferno never came out, but everything else did come out. Coliseum, I mean, is really wave based and it kind of has those same elements to it. Because Inferno, when it came out, there's so many mechanics that we just didn't really understand, like how to step out of a pillar properly to off tick things. And I feel like with having already had the Coliseum and everything, I am certain that many people would get their capes quite quickly. The only issue I think I'd have is just sort of the like the not knowing. I think that was what was so exciting and scary and intimidating about Inferno at the beginning. Is like I remember when V the Victim got to fucking triple Jads, and it's like, what happens after this? Like we have no idea. Like we just really don't know what's about to happen. And then Jad spawning in at Zuck, I feel like that would just take out people because they wouldn't even know what the fuck's going on. Or like what to do. Like, am I supposed to kill this thing? Am I supposed to just like, and then the timers, you know what I mean? And just I think the safe spot tiles of Zuck would throw so many people off, just getting dragged.
Yeah.
But other than that, yeah, it would be so much easier, especially with the gear we have. I mean, the only people that were able to really get Infernal Capes back then were the people with T-bows, and not many people had T-bows unless you were just like fucking pimped out.
It was like, the idea of doing a non-T-bow cape was just sort of not heard of for a long time.
It was crazy. On the topic of Delve, seeing the first week of Delve when it was like, I'm pretty sure No Monkey got the first wave 8 solve or something. I don't know how long that took. And then I saw a YouTube video of B0aty getting like wave 28 or something, just like holy fuck, like that's insane. And then it was like a week later we have a PB of 108, and then like a couple days after that it's like 221, like it's 6 hours.
People really solved it like super quick, which is so impressive because there's a lot going on in Delve. I think I haven't really kept up with it. Did they make it easier somehow? Didn't they added something so that you could clear acid or something?
There was definitely I think and this is like a separate topic as well, of just how they've been really cleaning up PvM and making it like really leaning into the fun rather than just like the pure masochism of like this is difficult for the sake of difficulty. And I do think it did get a little easier, but man, when I hear, because I still have actually not touched Delve personally, I've just watched a ton of it. But I'm just thinking to myself, like, how is it that other people aren't doing this already? 6-houring. When is this guy just leagues above basically 99.999% of all players? Because it seems like as long as you can complete a wave 8, you could just keep doing that same thing over and over and over and over. But it really is that like super endurance, like never fucking misclick. As soon as one thing goes wrong, it's just dead, and his focus is just on another level.
I asked around because I thought maybe he was the only person getting these numbers because he was like, one of the only people who was bothering to do 6 hours. But no, plenty of people are going for it and just can't even get close, which is so crazy.
That's so crazy. It's wild because I think there's that guy Jacku or something like that. I know there's like a guy in Widega stream that also he literally like beat Widega at some point, like got a higher PB or something like that, and then I was just like, wow, okay, like there's somebody else. And then what's the really unfortunate thing these days is like you'll see Widega that like gets a wave 108 with like 5,000 viewers or whatever, and then there's this guy Jacku that like streams his run where he literally beats it, and there's like 60 people in his stream. It's just like the hype's over now,
Yeah.
So unfortunate. But
Just waiting for the next thing, I guess. Raids
yeah,
4.
yeah, it's
I do love
crazy,
how
though.
like a new piece of content like this can sort of really shine a light on people. Like obviously, Widega is probably the biggest example of someone who just really deserved to blow up, and
Hmm.
then this one piece of content has just sorted him out. Like he's now pulls hundreds and hundreds of viewers every stream.
Yep,
It's really cool to see.
it is, and he is an entertainer as well. I think that's something that's often overlooked. Is like you got to have that sort of entertainment quality. If he was just completely silent on a stream, just not really talking, it wouldn't have the same vibe. I would. He's never streamed with a face cam, has he?
I don't think so. I
Because
think I've seen seen like some tweets, but I think they were just people taking the piss.
yeah, that's yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen those too. But I don't think he has streamed with Facecam. But I think that's another element where it's like as soon as there's a face attached to it, with the entertainment value, with the super high level gameplay, I think that's like the perfect recipe. And then all
Yeah.
it is after that is like the consistency, because then you become more of a household name where like you do it for years and years and years, and now if you remain consistent, you are in, like you're locked in. But I think one of the biggest ingredients in that success is the consistency, because anybody can just have a super hype stream, and then it's like people just forget. You got to remain super consistent when it comes to live streaming. So
Yeah, because there are plenty of people who are really, really good at the game and will just stream occasionally,
mhm.
and they just never take off in the same way. Like they do really well when they do stream, but they don't sort of become that like household name that you're talking about, unless you show up day in and day out. Yeah.
And there's something to be said about like that sort of household nature. Like you watch like any of these like newer streamers that are really popping off, you don't see this very dedicated viewer base that's like dropping subs a lot, like gifted subs and
Yeah.
whatever else. And even if your stream is not that big, but you've been there forever, you have these dedicated viewers that are like, here's a 50 pack, you know, like just look at the difference between like somebody like Spark Mac and just, I don't know, fucking Exact when he streamed. Like, no, I mean, I guess there's a complete different entertainment value there as well. But like Spark Mac, no matter what he's doing, he is so ingrained, and people have people have had his stream up as like a scheduled thing. I mean, this is part of their life now to watch him or whoever created. I'm just bringing up Spark Mac as an example, but like as soon as it becomes ingrained in your like lifestyle of watching a streamer, that's when the support really starts like reining in, and that's when you can like truly make it like a full-time pursuit. But
Yeah.
before that, it's really difficult to maintain any form of like full-time streaming.
I was literally thinking about this earlier today because someone was talking about one of the WoW streamers having more viewers than Christ, who are they talking about? I think it was B0aty that they were saying like, oh, Guzu's got more viewers than B0aty. He's a bigger streamer, and I just sat back and I just thought like, in old school RuneScape, consistency matters so much that B0aty could have a third, a quarter of the viewers of some other people, but I would still say that he is the biggest streamer. Like even if he doesn't currently have more views than whoever, literally anyone, just like that consistency and the longevity of this is obviously a very specific example, but you can sort of use this to talk about anyone. It just sort of it makes him like the bigger name, if that makes sense, like an actual household name as opposed to someone who might not be here in however long.
Totally. I think Sparkback is one of those examples where like his stream has definitely kind of lost that sort of hype. I mean, I remember when Sparkback was streaming to 3,000 people a night, and now it's more like 300, you know, just kind of doing whatever variety. But when you hear Sparkback, it's still like, oh, like that's a really big
everyone knows
creator.
him.
Yeah, like you know who he is. And B0aty's that same way, where even if B0aty's stream were to really die down, I think it's just, and I think it's both of their Sparkback and B0aty's sort of exposure on YouTube as well. Like B0aty will upload a video and gets 200,000 views, and it's just like a casual episode to his hardcore series.
His new series is doing hilariously well.
Dude, it's
doing so
good.
good.
It is. It's like his CG video where it's just like in a fucking episode he's gotten to CG, and then all of a sudden like the next clip he has the B0aty and the fucking blade, and I'm like, you really could have milked the fuck out of this, but you just gave it to us. Like, you're a legend. Like, this was such a great episode.
I was really laughing because I don't know if you clocked it. Some people did in the comments, but he jumped forward 350 something CGs with like one cut.
Jesus Christ.
Like most creators, that would have been 3 episodes of like, I'm locked in the red prison, episode 2. Like, it just literally one jump cut done. It made me laugh so much.
That's such a good way to. It's something that like nobody has the fucking time for. Like, it's so cool in theory to be like, yeah, I would love to do that as a creator. Like, be like Limpward, and my first episode is already having genocided 500,000 men and women in Lumbridge, and then it's like episode 2, next one is like, it's such a cool thing in theory, but the actually putting in that time is just ridiculous. And but it's it's so cool when you do it and you don't even talk about it. Like, B0aty would never even mention the fact that, like, hey guys, just to let you know, in case you didn't fucking realize, I just did 300 CG, so feel bad for me in the comments, you know, like, I just did all this. Now it just moves on, and he's just always putting on a smiling face.
I heard him on stream say that, I'm not sure when the episode is, but one of his upcoming episodes is just going to be getting to Tob and then finishing Tob at the end. And I'm just like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, that's for any account, that's a good, like, what, 200 hours maybe?
Yeah, that is crazy. Now, to be, this is not to take anything away, but when you're at that point where you're just raking it in, I mean, he is the biggest creator. It's like, this is not about sustainability as, you know, I have to upload these episodes and I have to like grow my audience. Like, dude, he's set. Like, he's already golden, so he's got that great opportunity to do things like that, and he's taking advantage of it, which I fucking appreciate. He's so good.
I think it's gonna become, like, I mean, B0aty is a trendsetter, right? I would not be surprised if that sort of attitude becomes more common, if that makes sense. The thought of having videos where you do the entire goal in one video, that's so cool to me. And yeah, like you say, it is kind of a privileged situation that he's in because he is the biggest guy. Like, he could not upload for 4 months. His next episode is going to do extremely well no matter what, and he doesn't need more subscribers. But it's just, I don't know, it's such a cool way to go about a series. I really like it.
It really is. I'm loving this series because I'm not usually a series watcher. Like, I'll watch the occasional episode of some people's stuff, but I'm never like completely absorbed in like, I'm so excited for the next episode. I just kind of watch casually. But his series, I'm definitely like, okay, I have the bell icon turned on, like, let's fucking go. I need to check out the next episode right as it drops, so it's exciting. So I wanted to talk a little bit about your new YouTube adventure that you've been on recently, getting back into that. And I don't know, I can't even remember what episode it was, but just a few episodes back, I was talking about how impressive it is to kind of, and again, a lot of projection on my part, but in order to have done what you're doing right now, it would take a huge sort of like mental liberation and getting out of like my own sort of head of making a series with an account that's already massively progressed. It just wouldn't feel right to me, even though that's exactly the kind of thing you're doing, where like you are literally creating a series from scratch that's with your account that has over 3 bill XP. And it's like, I'm just having fun. I'm completing the game, completing RuneScape, and this is just what it is. And I just love that fucking attitude. And I just love like the fact that you're just doing it because people want to watch that kind of stuff. And I feel like there's so many reasons to be like, nah, this can't work because I've already made this account and people aren't going to have seen the journey beforehand. So it's just not going to work. But you just sent it. It's so cool. So what got you to that point? And I just want to hear all about it and like your thoughts on it currently.
Yeah, so I know exactly what you mean about feeling like you can't sort of start a series essentially 12 years in. But But I mean, all it was is I was sort of I was missing like because obviously I stopped streaming, so I was missing like that sort of creative outlet with RuneScape, which is I knew I didn't want to start streaming again. It's just it's just too much of a time sink for me. I wouldn't be able to be as consistent as I think you need to be. And also streaming has more potential for me to get in my own head about numbers and viewers and how many people are chatting and stuff like that. Whereas you can upload a video or whatever, you can upload a series, and the fun part is making it. The outcome is not even necessarily that important, because as long as it's something you enjoy, you've done a good job. And maybe the algorithm picks it up, maybe it doesn't. So that was sort of my thinking is, okay, I want to do YouTube. What do I do? What do I do on YouTube that people might want? My first obvious thought was everyone is doing super restricted chunk mode accounts. And I was sort of going back and forth, like maybe I could sort of come at this of an angle of most of these guys who are doing this aren't the sort of, not taking shots at anyone, but they're not the sort of super efficient high-end player that is then starting a chunk man. That's not, most of these guys aren't like that, so maybe that would be interesting. But I just decided that doesn't sound fun for me. Like I think that sort of playstyle is so far away from what I like doing. So yeah, I was really thinking about it for a really long time, and I was watching a lot of YouTube, watching tons of RuneScape content, sort of just deciding what I do and don't like, and also what sort of there wasn't any of on YouTube. And there's lots of high-end players that make ramble style videos, or like the sort of progress videos that sort of just like, here's what I got up to sort of thing, here's what I've done for the last month. And really interesting. I love following think of some examples. Lone Gym Rat, who I think was on the cast recently, has a series where it is just clips, but it's also clips of a really high-end gamer, and that makes it interesting. And the thought of doing a series sort of like that was enticing, but it wouldn't sort of bring out the like creativity that I was sort of aiming for. So I just thought, what if I made, or tried to make, like, it's going to be a tough job, but I'm going to try my best, a series that's like that super high-end gameplay, but it's sort of made and edited and sort of produced in a way that's more sort of like casual focused, like a casual person who like their normal viewing experience is like settled, or someone. Obviously there's a bit of a difference in how good the videos are between Settled and me, but if someone who normally watches that sort of video could watch my video, but the gameplay is like, here's me with my 3BXP account, I thought maybe that could be quite interesting. And also it lets me sort of play the game in, like you said, like a very liberating way, where I can just do whatever I want because there's so much to do on this game. But by keeping it sort of like, I guess episodic is probably the right way of saying it, I can make episodes of, here's me doing some 200 mils, and it's one video, it's focused on skilling, but it's hopefully edited in a way that's quite enticing to casuals. And then the next video is, hey, here's me doing a certain pet grind, or a certain collection log grind, or Grandmaster, or something like that. So my main, I'm kind of just rambling, but yeah, my aim was to be able to play the game how I wanted, which was to do everything.
I think,
and also at the same time provide a viewing experience that is casual friendly. That's like just my overall goal, and I think it's been going all right so far. I've had some pretty good feedback, so
that's the important thing that I feel like players that have been playing for, like in your case, 12 plus years forget, is that the average audience has no fucking clue like about certain pieces of content. Like I'm saying, like the average like player, like just 1,300 total, they've gotten to like 60 Slayer. They've never even killed Garg boss. You know what I mean? Like just There are just hundreds of thousands of players like that, and to think that like on YouTube you got an audience of like people that want to watch OSRS content, but it just feels like, I mean, for me, I've always loved this sort of like quote unquote elitist content because it is up my alley and has been for years. But at the same time, it's just easy to forget how many people you could reach if you were to kind of just get to their level of like these guys got a full-time job. They're not living and breathing RuneScape. Like, you know, that's a rare phenomenon that we see, is just people treating it as your life, which I did.
Yeah.
And do. Yeah. So it's just funny though, because I feel like that's something I'm trying to also figure out on my YouTube, is like, okay, like there's a better way to make a guide than just having uploaded an hour footage of me doing these advanced techniques at Zulrah, not fucking explaining a thing that's going on.
Yeah.
So
especially with skilling, I think skilling has whether it's valid or not is another argument, but there is obviously a conception of what a high level skiller is in terms of how they interact with more casual people. So getting across a really high level skilling guide, for example, I think one you did recently was like gem mining maybe.
Mm-hmm.
And I thought that was like, this is really it's really in-depth skilling content done to a decent standard, like pretty like good rates and stuff, but it's put across in a way that the average person can see that, and instead of being immediately put off, they could actually be like, oh, maybe I'll try that sort of thing. Whereas, like you say, just an hour-long video of you doing 3-tick gems would probably make most people who are sort of casuals just be like, what is this? And they just wouldn't bother. So it's like a really hard balance, and I think there isn't really anyone, I think, who's sort of at that high level skilling, but also is like reaching the casual audience. Like that sort of bridge just doesn't really exist. So that's kind of my aim, but I mean, it's a hard bridge to build, because there's what people do in high level skilling is so far away from what most players enjoy that making content around it that casuals will enjoy that's so tough. I don't know how to do that really.
Yeah, and I think just the more time you put into your videos, you'll like start to figure out like how to word certain things. Because that's like, even like the episodes I've had on with Settle, like he'll talk about how to frame what he's talking about with like some more high level concept, and like try to like sort of dumb it down without being patronizing to like his audience that does know what's happening. It's a tough thing to do, but I like about Settled.
Yeah, sorry, go on.
Go. Well, I was just gonna say, just to finish up my point, was just like I really have been enjoying your episode. Your latest one was a banger, and it's so cool to see you just start like barbarian fishing, and like to know that you don't have to be live doing it, seeing your view count plummet. It's just like, no, you just want to barbarian fish, and you can just add it as a clip, and it's like, fuck yeah, I love that.
Yeah, there's gonna be a clip right now. I'm about to get 80 mil, but
hell yeah.
I think the thing I really like about Settled, specifically when he's talking about that high end stuff, and this is like, it's something, like I said, I watched a ton of YouTube, and I sort of noted down, not like copying, but I sort of just noted down what people did that I really liked. And one of the things that Settled does when he talks about high level content is he makes it obvious that it's sort of high level, if that makes sense. Like, he's talking about it and he's dumbing it down, but at the same time, he'll talk in a way where it's like, you're not, like, you, the average 1200 total RuneScaper, you're probably not going to be doing this and probably not really understanding, but I'm going to try my best. And it's like a really, like, it makes the viewing experience really approachable, because you don't feel like you're watching, I don't know, like, you don't feel patronized, like you say. It's explained to you, but you also, at the same time, you're aware, like, wow, this guy is doing something I can't do. It's kind of crazy.
Yeah. I do want to kind of ask a little bit, but outside of the content creation sphere with what you're doing on your account, like, what are your current sort of goals on the account, and what has been like the most fun for you lately? Has it been more the PvM or the pet hunting or the skilling? Is there something that you're like, I'm really, really enjoying this part of the game right now?
Yeah. I just got done getting Grandmaster, which was the last 2.5 months of gaming. I haven't really done anything else
Hell yeah,
other
GZ.
than go for GM. Thank you.
Is that your first
That was
GM
yeah,
helm?
yeah.
Oh hell yeah.
It is, yeah. That's quite a lot of stuff to do, to be fair.
Yeah.
But almost all of the top ones I had to do them, which was just painful. Getting teams to do top CAs is not fun.
Yeah.
is really difficult. Trying to think. I mean, coming up, I'm going to be doing Delve because I've not really done any Delve. I think it could be fun to sort of go for. Well, obviously, I want to get Grandmaster back, and then also just Greenlog Delve because it is just a super fun bit of content. So it'd be nice to just get that sort of done. Aside of that, I've not really been skilling much. I've been doing like the Slayer log. That's kind of one of my goals coming up, the Slayer collection log. But that's like a massive undertaking. It's kind of daunting. It's a lot of Konar Slayer coming up.
Yeah.
And I was sort of waiting for the rework to land. So now that's landed. It's sort of go time on that. But I immediately got a Hydra task, which has put put a spanner in the works. I got a Hydra task and just like, no.
Have you greenlogged Hydra, or do you still have shit to get?
I just need the jar.
Oh,
so
God.
Yeah, so whilst I could just do the regular Hydras. Oh, I need jar and dragon knives. So
okay,
they're not a skip task. And it's like I could just do the regular Hydras, but I need the jar. So it feels stupid to do them. So that one's on the back burner.
That's
for
so
now.
annoying.
I'm only like 3,500, so I'm a bit dry, but nothing crazy, thankfully.
Yeah, it's just one of those tasks where you have to seriously just shut your brain off and just go, like just do it, because even a simple thought of it just is like nope, I fucking hate this. Like this is horrible. Yeah. It just takes so fucking long. Just even like the death animation itself is like, come on. And then I feel like Hydra is one of those bosses, in my opinion, that could be cleaned up even further. I know they've helped with like the not having to actually count to 3. That was horrible. But one of the things they should definitely do is make it so the transition, whenever it transitions, it's instant. Like, because you know when like you hit a thrall and your bow at the same time, it like fucking snaps its neck like super fast. That should be the case every fucking time, because it's so annoying when it's taking its dear sweet time to rotate and the fucking like the hydration, whatever the hell that's going on there, splatters. It was like going to be perfect, and then the fucking Hydra is taking its dear sweet time to change. It's so tilting. So I should clean it up.
I know exactly what you mean. The pools, how you have to have them on it at a specific time, that drives me mad. I get that there's like an argument to be made where sort of timing it properly can save you time, and you need to time when you phase the boss. I think the boss in general would just be so much better if you just had to drag it onto the tiles, and then that reduced the defense.
Yep.
Which I know is a little bit of easyscape, but I don't think we need to have too much concern about the integrity of Alchemical Hydra speedruns, really. I think that's something we can let go and just make it a little bit easier.
Yeah, you make sense though, and I think most people agree. I think there's like it's almost the idea of making things easyscape is more terrifying than you actually having made things easyscape, and then it's like, oh, this is actually fucking better. Look at what they did with Sire and Duke. Like, both of those bosses have been cleaned up and just become super easyscape, but they're so much fucking more enjoyable to grind.
Yeah, I have, my attitude towards updates like that has changed so much over the last few years, and I made a tweet when Sire got updated that was like, wow, it is now faster than it used to be with 3 ults. And I got like quite a few people sort of, they thought I was like crying about it, and I got like a few comments are like, oh, it's not bad. It's not even EasyScape. It's just an update. And I'm like, no, this is great. This is how the boss should have been from the start. And we've gone back and we've cleaned up something that is honestly janky, and it's a what's the word? It's only happened because the dev team back then didn't think about it. Like, it's a 2017, 2016 update. A lot of them are a bit weird.
Yeah.
And going back to it,
2015 actually, I believe.
2015. Wow.
Well, I believe it was, or maybe Serb was 2015. Wow. I think maybe Sire came out shortly after, or shortly before. I can't even remember.
I'm really intrigued now. 2015. Yeah, you're right.
Yeah. Jesus, 10 years.
So long ago.
I know. Only took 10 years.
So old. Yeah, the idea of going back to a 10-year-old boss and making changes that are universally loved, I think that's great. And we don't need to wait 10 years for the next one. Like, Hydra I think they need to get in there. And the thing is, especially with Hydra, is it doesn't need a lot of changes. Like,
it doesn't.
That one change, or also what you said about the making it phase instantly, I think that's all it would need, and then it's perfect.
Yeah.
Maybe not the most fun, but at least it's not like frustrating, right?
Yeah, it's just making it's really just like the devs going into any piece of content, and this is beyond PvM. I think PvM is where they've been focusing the most, and it's been beautiful to see. But it's like, you just grind, have a dev or anybody on the team just grind something for a day, and you will start intuitively recognizing the shit that feels awful in a boss.
Yeah.
And genuinely, I feel like, again, there's still that little bit of lingering feeling, and people still kind of say that there is value in the overcoming a hurdle, or like overcoming the annoyance of something. Like they're saying like there should be painful grinds, and I disagree. I agree that there should be grinds, but there shouldn't need to be painful grinds. In my personal opinion, I could like kind of go on in more detail about that. But when it comes to bosses, there's something about grinding a boss over and over and over to get the thing, and then grinding a boss over and over and just having the fucking worst experience ever because the boss is just poorly designed.
Yeah.
And it's like, it's still a grind. It still can be a very like rewarding experience, but you don't have to make it absolutely just awful to experience.
I'm all for rarity based grinds. Like, I don't think something being rare is necessarily a bad thing within reason, but when it's like a mechanic that it's only happening because the pain point wasn't thought about, that's when to me it's like, okay, well, people have been playing this for years, everyone has the same opinion about this thing.
Yeah,
maybe we can change it. Like the Sire walking one, where it was how you can't hit it whilst it's walking, or something like that. You can guarantee that happened just because they couldn't figure out how to make it attackable during that phase, or something like that. So the idea of not fixing that, or like people being scared of that change, it's just, I don't really agree with that. I think if something is obviously annoying, we can fix it.
Yeah, and I'm glad the sentiment has changed, because, man, 2013, 2014, 2015, those years in particular, It was like, fucking don't add anything that's going to make this game nicer to play. Do not do it. Like, it was so just, we got to keep, and there was a valid argument for it, which was like the fear of turning the game into EOC and just completely bastardizing it. It's just like, okay, now it's not even the same game that we love. But, man, the game is in such a different place, and I think it's in... I have my own gripes with the game, but overall, I've said this many times, like, we're in the golden age where things just feel good to grind. And I think a lot of that is the letting go aspect. Just to kind of go back to like the Hey Jase topic, I think him and I both, me on my Iron Man and him on his main, it feels like you get so invested in these grinds, and then when you start seeing the devaluation and just how many hours you've wasted because something gets like just so much easier, just it can just feel like the game is getting shittier, even though if you were to look at it from an outside perspective without your bias and what you're doing specifically in game, you would see that the game's actually improving as a whole, and ultimately there's gonna be things that you just don't agree with. Like mine is, a lot of it is just how generous loot tables are. That used to be a very, very hot button issue for me, and I would talk about it with guests all the time of like drop tables being outrageous. And these days it's like everything's fucking outrageous, so it's just like whatever. Like I guess it's just it is what it is now.
As in, it just everything just like gives tons of alchables, or is it supplies?
Like just resources. And I mean, Wildy was. I remember having such an issue with like revs, for example. Revs at some point was like fucking 9 mil an hour for irons, and now we have the same like issue with like Callisto. Like Callisto is like just you have a 10-man team, and you go in there and you're literally printing 8 mil an hour to just click a bear out in the wilderness.
Yeah,
with, like,
I've done a ton of Callisto on my main. It's a good laugh.
But it's like
took in baby 45 combat fire strikes.
Oh.
And they're just printing GP.
And you just guarantee a certain quantity of a drop. It's not even like you do 1 damage and you get like 1 noted supply. It's like, no, it's just so broken that you do 1 damage as long as you're in a 10-man. It's like, boom, here's your fucking 200 mahogany logs noted. And like, there you go. Or your whatever else.
That's something they fixed recently where I was actually... I think very kind of selfishly, I was like, I wish they didn't fix this because it's sort of ruined it for me and my friends. Like we can't. It was fun, maybe stupid, but it was a little fun to go there with the baby accounts and still get them some loot.
Are you not able to do that anymore?
Yeah, so they've changed it so it's now like you have to do. I think it's 7% of the damage.
Oh,
and then it's capped at 10 as well. I don't like it. I really don't like it because it. How we've noticed, we've had to like change to doing 6-mans because you want a dedicated freezer. They naturally do a lot of DPS because they're ice barraging whilst everyone else is broad bolting or whatever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we used to go as a 10-man all the time, and now it's like, okay, well, we have to go as 6, and then even then, some people aren't getting full loot, and it just does not feel great. So I think they've fixed what they thought was an evil, but kind of ruined it for a lot of real players, which kind of sucks, but it is what it is.
Yeah, and if that was an off case, the thing is like so many pieces of content just are so generous with their loot. So if that had been the only real issue, then it would be like, all right. But yeah, I feel like that is a silly change to just because like I've tried to do streaming events at Callisto, and it just sucks because I would love it if I could just go in there with like 20 people from my stream. But as soon as you hit 10, it's like, okay, now half the people, if you're doing a 20-man, aren't going to get anything. And now, based on what you've told me about the new mechanics, is even fewer people are going to get the drops.
Yeah. I don't see what the issue would be with just scaling it like Huey or something like that. Like a lot of the new multi-bosses where you just get a lesser amount.
Yeah.
But this is like I think it's like if you don't do 7%, you get 20% of normal loot. And then if you do over 7%, you get normal loot. So... But then that's also capped to 10. So if you're the 11th man, you might not get loot anyway. I don't know. It's a bit weird and janky.
Okay.
Yeah, not great.
Yeah, it's a very weird system they have. And then what's really unfortunate is Callisto's the only one of the multivariants that you can really mass. Have you ever tried to mass Vedion? It's a fucking shit show. They spawn 70,000 skeleton dogs, and then you can't do any, and then Vedion becomes immortal for fucking 15 seconds after the dogs are dead. You're like, Jesus, man.
Yeah, that one is interesting how it's in multi, so you'd think it's meant to be masked, but it's like you go there with more than a few people and you just get your head caved in because so much is going on.
Yeah,
it's wild.
It's so chaotic. That is something they need to touch up because the invulnerability of monsters, the same fucking shit with Vorkath as well. Like he just randomly becomes immortal for a brief phase when he summons his death. You just attack Vorkath. Like, if you keep attacking him, you're going to get exploded by the fucking zombie thrall or whatever thing spawn. And
you add difficulty. Like, you could have people would probably bring blowpipe, do 2 blowpipes, crumble and dead back on the boss. You know, it adds the possibility of like skill expression, but by just making it, you know, he's immortal until it's dealt with. It's just, there's no variance or ambiguity there. You're just making it boring, essentially, for a good 10 seconds.
It's really dumb. And I know, I feel like the devs have even said, because another place where this is happening is Nex, where at the beginning of the fight, there is a certain tick that you can first attack Nex. But you're still able to click Nex beforehand, and it just guaranteed does a 0. And it's just like, I feel like the devs purposely did that to be like, oh, here's a little bit of skill expression you can have, so you got to know the timing.
Oh.
And it's just like, dude, just stop. Just like, no, this is not a way to have skill expression. It's just stupid.
No.
Like, as soon as you can attack the boss, you should be able to attack it. Don't have it be fucking immortal for this brief second. It just makes no sense. And Vorkath having any bit of that invulnerability, and I'm gonna say it, people are, you know, like when Vorkath first dropped, Wook's, that was when Wook's walking got coined, was Vorkath, and they decided that they needed to nerf the fuck out of that acid phase, so they just gave you 50% damage reduction, because like it was just too much of like a gap of like the noobs versus the higher end like PvMers that were like like the kill times were, there's like a big disparity between them. And these days I'm like, dude, like you should not be punished for doing the Wooks walking. Like you should not. This should be, if anything, it should be like 20% more damage, you know, to actually encourage players to do it.
That's so funny, because I think that's very much just a symptom of the time. Like I think if that happened now, I agree that, well, sorry, when you said it should be damage buff, I think that's what they would do if it came out now. As like, you can figure out how to get attacks off during this phase, good for you. You extra damage, or they'd make it like 100% accurate, kind of like they did with Delve Car phase.
Yes.
I genuinely think they would do something like that to reward good players, which is just, that's how I think PvM should be done.
Yeah, that would be just brilliant. And there's one more example I wanted to bring up, was Huey. Huey, the little tail phase in the middle of the fight when you're actually killing Huey. They just randomly make it so your attacks just only hit up to like fucking 8s or 9s or something. Like, listen, it's cool that like in theory when you're designing the boss, like, yeah, that makes sense, but just stop. Like, we want to see a bigger number. Like, that's the dopamine. And so if you have this, if they were to have done the opposite, where now you're hitting 90s and 80s and stuff, like it just buffs your damage output on this tail phase. The tail phase becomes fucking exciting. And it also encourages you to figure out the timing, because there is a certain timing if you really start figuring out exactly what's going on with that tail phase, to perfectly time like your bopper's attacks into the next tail, and like anticipate before the tail's even move to the next tail and get those extra hits off.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like there is just a certain time. It's like it kind of differs with a 4-attack weapon, but it's basically as soon as it does a shock, it's 4 attacks after the lightning on the floor, and then you go again. So it's like 8 or 9 total attacks. It's like somewhere in between that amount of ticks. So it does differ. But if you're a fucking nerd like me, you'll figure out the timing and then still go early. But because then what they could have done is like just made it, because I think there's like an XP multiplier when you're killing the boss anyway. You're already just getting more melee XP just with your normal drops. But they could have made that more standardized, and then the tail phase has just like, here's double damage, and it would just feel good. But instead they're like, no, we're just going to nerf your damage by fucking 90% on this phase.
Yeah. Like I obviously why they did that is to introduce the idea of the double hitting weapons, right? But I think you can do that without sort of hitting low numbers sucks, right? People want to hit higher.
Yeah.
Make double hit weapons just 100% accurate. Something like that. Make them hit harder. Like as opposed to, hey, everything hits 5s, by the way. So you want to bring something that hits twice so you can get as many 5s as you can. Like that just feels bad. Feels so bad.
It's cool though that they are figuring out how to make bosses fun. Yama, you've done Yama, right? Yeah. I fucking love Yama. It's so fun.
Yama is so good. I kind of like joke about the like dono gigafly methods or whatever, the amount of them that there are, but they are so like such a good example of skill expression that makes that boss so fun, like so much more fun, I think. Yeah, I did a lot of Yama recently to do all the CAs, and yeah, it's just a blast. It's just a really enjoyable boss fight. They're doing really well with it.
Yeah, and there's so much about it that's just clean. And like you say, the dono fly, whatever fucking Sae Bae fly, my method that I coined now. But it's literally dono fly, but you do like a little dance like emote right before you start. Now that's Sae Bae fly.
I've got the Thurco fly. It's the dono fly, except you fuck up 2 hits in and just have a mage.
And then there's Sae Bae fly V2 where you forget it's phase 3 and you just fucking go in like full blast. And then you just fucking panic. Yeah, that sounds a great one. But yeah, I just feel like it's because they're designing the boss with intrinsic rhythm. That's what is so fucking cool about it. And it's the same reason Solo Olm was just the coolest thing ever, because the boss is fully designed for the boss to be on a certain tick cycle, and it's a repeated thing. It's just so good. Like, that's the kind of shit that we need across the game.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Yeah, it's like because it is always attacking on a certain cycle, right? Like that is sort of how it just makes that rhythm. Yeah, I hadn't really thought about that before, to be honest, but yeah, it makes sense, and it just makes it so enjoyable to do. Lets you do all these little tricks and stuff, and
yeah. It's super fun. It's just that sort of like anticipatory gameplay. Like you could fully make the boss your bitch if you do it enough, you understand the cycles, and now it's just pure anticipation. You just know exactly what you're about to do, and it's just great. That is great gameplay, and the devs finally have unlocked it. Like they know what it is now. As long as we keep Arcane and whoever else is really the masterminds behind these pieces of content, it's amazing.
Yeah, just the fact that you can like step back on the correct tick to make it do major range, so you don't take that chip damage. It's just like small things like that is, I feel like maybe sometimes not thought about in other bits of content, and I don't know, it just makes it so much more in depth, and yeah, it's just great.
Yeah,
I was really surprised when it came out, and people like, I feel like when it first came out, there was a lot of controversy. Maybe like people were expecting it to be harder or something, which I found interesting. But I'm like sort of glad that has all died down, and now the opinion is sort of, yeah, it's great. It's a really fun boss.
Yeah, I wonder to some extent how many people really want things to be super difficult, or it's sort of like this comes to my mind. I don't know how accurate this is. You're gonna have to tell me your thoughts on it. But sometimes I feel like the people that express, hey, this shit needs to be harder, I don't actually feel like they want it to be harder. I feel like they want other players to be locked out of it in a way. Like they want to be in that sort of elite, like, I'm a person that can profit massively off this, and I don't like it that other people can do this, even though they are probably actually having a worse time if the boss was more difficult. Like they wouldn't actually grind it more. It's the idea that they can do it and other people can't, I feel like, is sort of the sentiment that people get, which honestly, I mean, that's a whole nother topic, but I feel like there is some validity to that, of like making things so difficult that there is that fun aspect of being like in the exclusive sort of like club that can do it.
I know what you mean, because like something that you see a lot, and like when people are saying like, oh, Yama's not endgame because people are doing it with just a purging staff. It's like, okay, that doesn't mean it's not. I get what you mean, is what I'm trying to say. Like, one of the reasons that people are saying it's not end game is because XYZ person is able to do it.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these people who don't have infernal capes are able to do Yama, that means it's not end game.
And it's like,
yeah, it's an interesting opinion.
Yeah, like if you were to just focus on, like, if you just ignore all that, do you like the boss? Do you think it's an enjoyable experience? Do you think it is like rewarding and fun and still sort of challenging in a way? Like, it doesn't need to be masochistic. It could still be challenging, because Yama, I mean, even with how, relatively simple it is after a couple hundred kills, it's still, I will still occasionally die, or like my partner will die just to something silly. And like the fact that even can happen shows like, okay, at least you do have to sort of focus.
Yeah, I mean, it's got a lot of mechanics going on. Like it, just because it was solved quite quickly, and you can do it with low-ish tier gear like purging staff, Emberlight, quite easy to get. Well, maybe not on an Iron Man, but they're not the hardest to get hold of. I don't think that makes it not end game just because you don't need like mega rares to do it, and you can learn it in a few hours. But I think Jagex just really struggle because they don't really have like really good definitions for stuff. It's mid game or end game. There's no like real difference, and one of them has Scurious and one of them has like Colosseum.
Yeah.
So where are you placing Yama in that? You know, it's quite hard.
Yeah, I love how I love where they're at right now with PvM, and I feel like I almost need to state it often because I don't want there to be any like I hope the devs just understand how great of a job they're doing and like to kind of keep what they're doing, because if they were not doing a good job, I would be very vocal about it and be like, nope, it's fucking failed update. Royal Titans, by the way, super fucking amazing update when you are sort of in that mid game and you're doing it with a duo partner. That shit is just perfect, so balanced too.
I loved Royal Titans even as an end game. I did it. Me and my wife did it together. She was like rune crossbow whip. I was there Blorver and a scythe, and it was just an absolute blast. It was great. It's like genuinely such a good PvM update, and it's almost kind of funny that it was that good and it was aimed at mid level.
Yeah,
but just great.
And
I think what they've done in general with mid level PvM and like sort of enabling the progression has been so good. I know it's been getting a lot of sort of, maybe not so much recently, but over the last few years, there's been a lot of like, oh, another mid-level update kind of talk. But I think now we're sort of really starting to see like there is a really clear pathway to going from brand new at the game to actually like quite competent at all of these mechanics, and you see it with all of the WoW streamers, especially. I think there's been like a really big tell that these guys have came in and they're actually able to learn how PvM works in this game in a way that's also progressing their account and isn't boring. And I think that's just so good for the game long term.
Yeah, because if the WoW players migrated, let's just say 10 years ago, 2015, it was literally you're not gonna have any fun until you're like 85 Slayer. And by the way, all your Slayers in Neve's fucking cave. It's just the most private server looking area. Just the game was truly way more designed for like autists at that point. It was just like everything was just such a fucking grind. Such a grind. It really was. You needed nostalgia to carry that like bad.
Could you imagine you came over in that era, you grinded to 85 Slayer, and then it's like, okay, by the way, you've never done PvM, but now you have to learn Sire. Like your head would just fall off. It would be so difficult.
I mean, God Wars was insane. To solo God Wars back then was just unthinkable, and now everybody solos it. I don't see anybody like doing team God Wars. I mean, there probably are tons of people, but bots are soloing it. I fucking see them at Bandos. Oh, really? They're perfectly flicking, running around the room. I saw a bot that was at Grardor, and the bots don't even kill the minions anymore. They just perfectly flick and turn off their prayers perfectly with the minions and just wait for the boss to spawn, and then perfectly run around the room with a crossbow and kill the boss, and then again just never kill the minions. Just they're perpetually in there forever.
Yeah, I don't know why I'm surprised, to be honest. When there's like bots doing Tob perfectly, I'm not sure why I thought they wouldn't be able to do Bandos perfectly.
Yeah,
that's crazy.
It's weird to see.
I think a lot of the botting situation is a bit crazy right now. I don't know if you've really, as an Iron Man player, I don't know if it's really affected you at all, or if you've even really noticed other than just what you see on Twitter, but man, it is wild. It is really wild.
I mean, it does affect me. I talk about it a lot. It just feels like it just needlessly frustrates me and makes me angry about like how little seems to be done. Like, I understand it's an arms race and it's just like there's no cure to this, but even as simple, and this is a point I've made, is like, look at the Grand Exchange. on every fucking world, every 2 seconds, there are spam bots spamming Stella websites, fucking whatever the hell, and like Ice World 302, gambling bots everywhere. It's just like, dude, what the fuck is? I don't even know what any of this shit is, but it's super annoying and just a stain on the game. And this is the simplest fucking shit to clean up. You could. And I made this point. You could hire. You don't even need to hire. You could have a person do this for fucking free. If Jase were to say, "Hey, we're gonna give you," so I'm just gonna bring up my name for example. This is not to say like give me this power. It's just to bring up an example. But I would literally volunteer for absolutely free if they said you can now permanently mute any player. But if we see you abuse it, we'll ban you for abusing it. I would be able to clean up. I kid you not, 3,000 bots in a fucking day. Like literally, I'd just go to LMS, all those worlds, just insta mute, perma mute, or just even if they gave me I would love it if it was just perma ban, honestly. But even if it was just perma mute, like if you've advertised a website, I'm sorry, you're gone. Like if you've done it more than 2 times in the last 5 seconds, you're just gone.
Yeah.
And then at the Grand Exchange, you don't even need to hop worlds. You just stay at the world and they hop for you. And then you just clean them up. It's just like the simplest thing. Like how is there nobody that has cleaned up? Literally, they will come back, but that's okay because you just have one person do it over the fucking course of an afternoon and they're gone again. It's the simplest thing to clean up, I feel like. Oh god.
Yeah, you would think those low-hanging fruit, like the GE bots, like I get why they're not able to immediately detect a bot that's running on a RuneLite plugin that's doing Yama perfectly, but someone who's just spamming OnlyFans links at the GE, like I feel like that's quite easy to detect. I don't know.
Yeah, it's just frustrating.
Maybe we just need more player moderators to go around muting them, but I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't think there's really an answer until they get rid of RuneLite, which is the issue because no one wants to get rid of RuneLite. But all of these, I'm pretty sure all of these bots are essentially just RuneLite plugins that people just compile their own RuneLites. I mean, I know it is because it comes up on my YouTube feed. Like they're that brazen with advertising.
That's crazy.
I mean, it's like, how'd you get rid of it when it's just that? Unless you get rid of RuneLite, which no one wants to do because RuneLite's so ingrained.
Yeah, it's a tough one. I try not to think about it, but man, when you see the botting, it really is just, it's almost like a mental, just, it's just so sickening to see and then you see the high scores with people that have just, I mean, the high scores are completely stained. Like there's no real integrity to any of it, like to ranks for most of it. It's just, you're going to be competing with bots that are logged in 24/7. Like that's not fun.
Yeah. PvM high scores may as well just not exist, to be honest. Like, there's no real people on there aside from maybe like Zuck and Jad. Probably about it.
Yeah. And I guess Clue Scrolls, most of the people doing Clue Scrolls are real players, but there are bots now that are doing the mediums. They're just flying through them every single day. Yeah, just doing medium Clue Scrolls on repeat, trying to get Ranger boots. The fact that there's a bot for like just solving mediums is just nuts. Like that's so crazy.
Trying to remember what I was seeing. I was doing something whilst I was going for like one of the Slayer collection logs. I think it might have been like Infernal Mages or something. And they're like 300k profit per hour. And there were bots there. I was like, come on, like Infernal Mages, really? Like, it's nothing sacred. It's crazy.
I want to ask you about just the sort of evolution of skilling. Like we've talked about PvM now, of like it feels like they're really leaning into the fun. They're figuring out what works with PvM, what keeps people like really enjoying it. And we've just seen amazing updates. Just to reiterate, like Royal Titans, Yama, Delve, like those are just across the board. Everyone's like, these are just fucking phenomenal. They're so fun. But what have you seen over the past 5 years, let's say, of skilling updates? Do you see skilling headed in a good direction? Do you have any thoughts on what they could do to improve it? Just overall thoughts on skilling. Do you think it's in a good place or not?
Yeah, I mean, I don't think it's in a bad place, but I think my issue with skilling is that there's, aside from sailing, it feels like, right, so it feels like sailing has sucked all of the attention for all of the skilling. like, especially for like the last year or maybe like year and a half, it almost feels like there's no direction with skilling. Like there's no updates coming really aside from kind of small stuff. I don't know if I'm just overlooking things. I think if we go back further to like 2021 through to like 2024, maybe, I think they made a ton of really good updates. Off the top of my head, Guardians of the Rift completely changed my mind on how skilling updates should be done. I think Temperos, I know, sort of joked about it earlier, but I think that's a really good update. What else? I'm kind of upset with Forestry because I think that could be really good, but it's just not, which is a shame. They could definitely do more with that, but I think they're just stained by the idea of it being Forestry version, however many, like 5 or something.
Just don't release another Forestry blog post. That'll just get everyone pissed off. Yeah.
Yeah, my God, I'm going to sleep if I see another one. But I mean, Forestry could be so good though. That's what annoys me. Is it's almost like, I was thinking about this the other day, and it's almost like the actual events in Forestry are like they're almost like more uneventful than the actual woodcutting somehow, which is impressive because you're just chopping trees. But everyone's favorite event is the Dryad event, and it's literally just standing on a tile that RuneLight points out to you for 10 seconds and then standing on the next one. Like, what is that? That's crazy. It's so pointless. Could you imagine if... Here's my thought. Could you imagine if Forestry, one of the events, made you sort of go through... This is a wild goose chase. The Yama agility stepping stones are so fun.
They are.
Could you imagine if Forestry, one of the events is like you have to do a mini agility course like that, get to some roots, chop some roots, and the roots give you tons of bark or tons of XP, something like that. It's like in 10 seconds I've spitballed, I think, an idea that's more engaging than all of the Forestry events that they have. Like, they're all so bland and so just easy to, like, so forgettable.
Yep.
Which is such a shame because the aim of it to get people together woodcutting has been achieved, and that's great. But the actual events, the main event of Forestry itself, is just boring.
Yeah, Forestry is just... It was also a lot of stuff to just be dropped with such a iconic skill to just be across the game. Because I kind of like the more isolated mini games. Don't get me wrong, there's nothing... Now that Forestry's just been in the game for so long, it's just like, whatever, just deal with it. But man, when it first dropped, I was genuinely cringing over the fact that, like, now all woodcutting that had this super, super old school charm to it, which was just chopping. Like, that was like old school. It just across the game now. It's like, nope. If you want to be efficient, well, I guess efficiency is a different thing. You had 1.5 techniques the whole time. But, like, if you want to just chop trees, like, you got to carry your fucking backpack around and do these, like, little Toontown events all the time, which is just I don't know, it's just a bit bizarre. I wish
criminal.
It really, what they needed to do, in my opinion, I talked about this, and this is the only point I'll really say, because I feel like the Forestry is just such a tired topic. I talked about it so much, but it's like they did such a good job with how the trees worked, encouraging people to chop the same tree. That's cool, and just very, very slight buff to it. And then what they need to do is just like balance the rates of things. Like, the fact that magic trees are still like 25k XP an hour is just pathetic. And it's like, dude, just rebalance this kind of stuff. Like, make it so you chop more U's per hour, more magics per hour, and like kind of just rebalance a little bit of stuff, and then make it so there's like 1 or 2 events that are actually fun, like an actual evil tree spirit that comes out and you got to fucking murder it, or like zombies coming up from the ground that are like the lumberjack zombies, and you got to murder those guys. Like, something that's a little bit more fun than just standing on a tile, or like fucking disabling a fox trap. You disabled my trap. Like, we're gonna set another. It's just so silly. It's just
Could you imagine that an evil tree spawns and you have to chop like X tiles within a certain amount of time, or like the quicker you do it, you get rewarded more. I don't know. I feel like it's just more engaging than what they've done. And
Yeah.
Yeah. I did think when it came out, I thought it was going to be a standalone thing. So I was really like put off, and actually it was the first time in a long time that I was actually disappointed when it was like when I realized it's everywhere. This is just woodcutting now, and
Yeah.
yeah, it sucked. But
And
I think skilling in
yeah.
general is doing good. I'm actually kind of happy with the sort of uh mini gamification almost of a lot of the skills,
Hmm.
if that makes sense. I think that's completely fine and it gets people into skilling. So yeah, good times.
Have you done Sepulcher?
Yes,
What are your thoughts on that?
I love it. I think I mean, I don't think it's a controversial opinion to say that it is just the best skilling thing in the
Yeah.
game.
Yeah.
We need more like that, and all I can hope for with sailing is that there is something. I think there's the Barracuda trials. I just hope they're like Sepulcher, because
Yeah.
that's going to be the saving grace of the skill if it is.
I am slightly worried about Barracuda trials where there's just so much more pinpoint precision with a player that's actually satisfying. I feel like people might not fully be able to grapple with the idea that, like, I just feel like maneuvering a large boat is inherently just less satisfying than having
Yeah,
pinpoint precision with your character, where you're just moving exactly where the fuck you want to move. With a boat, it's like, oh, time to turn. Fucking take 8 seconds to turn your boat around, and it's just,
yeah.
ugh,
You
you're gonna
kind of
feel so
lose
heavy and
everything that makes
sticky.
Sepulcher fun just by being a boat.
Yeah, so they have to. It's again like one of those things where you have to find out the choke points and just be like, okay, is this actually fun? Like, are you having a good time? And you're just, because if you're not, if there's something in it that just feels wrong, and I know like Husky and Elaine are just incredible devs. First of all, it's such a shame that sailing is just fundamentally way different than the rest of RuneScape. It's so they took a year just to figure out how the fuck you move your boat properly. It's gonna feel all right, and it still feels a little
Yeah.
clunky, but they did the best they could. But I feel like that is just such a difficult thing to maneuver now, where you're going to have something that doesn't feel right. But in order to make it feel right, you have to like fundamentally change how boats move, which they're not going to do. So I'm so scared of like activities just having this forever stickiness because of how boats move, and you can't change that now. And it's like,
Hmm.
all right, well, everything's going to feel a little sticky and clunky and slow, and just like, all right, time to shift your boat around 180 degrees. Have fun with that every time. Just,
Yeah, I
I don't
feel
know.
like the movement is like it's I don't know. It Playing the alpha and the beta, it's really obvious that it's not like the movement is not one fluid, two intuitive, really. Like it
Yeah.
just doesn't feel great. And I know a lot of people say like, "Oh, it's an alpha, it's a beta," but I don't think they're changing. I don't think they can change the movement. Like this is just as good as it's going to get,
Hmm.
and it's not good. But I mean, I don't know how to make it feel better. You even just like thinking about it, like how would I change this top level? What would I change about the movement? I don't know. I don't know how you make the movement of a boat feel good. It's
Yeah.
always going to be slow. It's always going to be clunky, and that's just a fundamental issue with the skill. Um,
I
yeah,
I did have
I'm worried.
a couple ideas, but they seem to get shut down quite easily because people will just say, well, that's not how boats work in real life, and we want this to be sort of like feels like a boat in real life, or think. But literally mentioned within like a week of having played the beta, I was like, it would be so cool if you got on your boat and literally getting away from the dock, there's a way to like double click your boat or something, and you instantly get a speed boost. I know that doesn't make
Yeah,
any fucking sense in real life. You shouldn't be, but this would feel like a video game where like you see Mario Kart. If you fucking click A button on green, you get a fucking speed boost when you go. And if you don't, you're just going to slowly gain acceleration. I think there's elements of video game fun, satisfaction that, yes, it does not make sense in real life. But if you were to add it, it would be truly more addicting and more fun. And the last thing you want is this sort of subconscious feeling of approaching the dock, getting on your boat, and there is just a lingering thought in your unconscious mind that's saying this is not fun. But if you were to initially get on your boat and have this insta surge of just boom, you're on your way, that instantly like resolves that sort of just like that uncomfortable feeling of getting on your boat and gaining acceleration. Something as simple as that goes so hard, and then just having your boat go faster. You got to have the boats just go faster. And the little wind boost you catch, I'm sorry, that should not just last 2 seconds. That should be like as soon as you catch wind, you're now on it. Like you now have the wind. I just feel like a little bit of that boost, and then you just go back to slowness again, is going to feel fucking horrible, because their intention of it is to make it feel good to get the wind boost. But now it's just going to feel like shit when you lose the wind boost, which is after like 2 seconds.
You know what is really funny about that is people have been having this debate really hotly recently with running and walking. And it's like universally agreed that walking sucks. But on a boat, it's like, how about walking is the default and occasionally you can run for a few ticks?
Yes.
Like,
it's the fucking Ferris Bueller meme where the principal's like running and like walking in between each door and then running again and walking again. God.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I assume you've played all the betas and stuff like that.
I didn't play the last one. I honestly was kind of...
Really?
No, I didn't do my due diligence as a professional RuneScaper, as people call me. Like, you should be doing your job and doing all the betas. I'm like, sorry.
Sorry, my bad. Yeah, I'm super worried about sailing. Like, super worried. I don't think it's going to be the game's over EOC 2 bullshit that a lot of the high level skillers are saying, but I don't think it's going to be good, which is such a shame. And I think it's going to be like a real drag to train. And I really hope I'm wrong, and I really hope Barracuda trials are fun, but I just don't think they will be. Which, yeah, I think 6 months from now, 6 months from release, sorry, people are going to be sort of, why has everything got a sailing requirement? I don't even want to train sailing, sort of thing. So, yeah, not looking forward to it. I am going to obviously just go for 99 straight away, and I very much hope I'm wrong. But from what I've seen about the training methods as well, like, they just don't look entertaining. They don't look like they have that sort of rhythm-based skilling that is what makes the good methods good. Which I know you've talked about that a lot. Like, we need to make skilling just rhythmic, because that is the good part of skilling.
Yeah.
And I don't think these methods have that. And yeah, it's going to be a shame.
Well,
I guess we'll see.
You can always just do the He-Box 4-tick salvage method just for, 200 hours. Just repeatedly just 4-tick this one spot in the sea. Just gather up some trash and then clean it at the dock later.
I think what I don't get about that, right, is I don't know if they're going to keep that in the game or not. But to me, a new skill is the perfect opportunity to move away from the sort of skilling that people don't like. And that right there is sort of the epitome of this is the skilling people don't like. Which I'm sort of talking against myself right now, because I would enjoy that. And I know a lot of my friends would enjoy that. But I think the average player, if that was the best method when sailing releases, I think the average player will be like furious. Like, why is that better than Barracuda trials or the best mini game or whatever else? Like, you've developed this skill for years, and like some sweaty tick minute method is best in slot. I genuinely think people will be really mad if that is what comes into the game as the best method. So,
and it's not even you sailing; it's just you literally sat on a boat with your character doing some salvaging manipulation. Yeah, and it's just, I'm totally with you where it comes to like this was a perfect opportunity to get away from all that really masochistic idea of skilling where it needs to just be a chore the whole way and it's a means to an end, or to like get the level. This you could truly lean into just the fun, and with that comes the consequence of, yes, it could be abused. Like, you could have alts and stuff get you extreme rates, but literally like I don't know. I'm just worried. Like I'm worried about them leaning into something that was never fun in the first place, which is just classic skilling. If they were to release like mining, if mining was never a skill and now it's dropped into the game as is, like, dude, people would be like, what the fuck is this? Like, this is horrible. Yeah. Like, you know, like,
especially if it didn't have volcanic mine or something.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
the more interesting mining methods.
And I'm sure sailing will be much more interesting than something like that. But it's like, dude, we just get away from it. Like, just make it fun. I love that simple idea I've brought up of just, if sailing was just go to a port, get into a lobby with your friends in a friends chat, and you go to a guy and you say, hey, you four, you are now going to sail to this island and retrieve the treasure and sail back to me with it. You can't teleport once you're on your boat. And the whole idea is to travel somewhere as an adventure. You go to an island, you just totally like scavenge the place. Basically, you're like, okay, where's the treasure? So people will be doing some skilling, people will be killing some monsters on it. Eventually you find like a clue scroll piece, you go to a chest, you unlock it, you find the treasure as a team, sort of, you get all back on the boat as a team, you sail back, boom, there's your huge sailing XP drop, here's your reward. Like shit like that would be so fun. And yes, it would be incredibly hard to balance because, you know, there's going to be some sort of abuse you can get, but like, who the fuck cares? Like, it's just like, just let them. Literally, like, look at clue scrolls. It's the most abusable fucking system in the game where people just permanently juggle and can just abuse master clues and just not even do the steps. And everybody fucking loves it. They're just like, all right, just keep it like this. We want the bug abuse. Just let it.
They love it so much that they try to fix it and they're like, actually, no, we'll give you your bug.
Yeah. The same thing with sailing. Like, I don't know. Just let it be fun.
I don't know if I'm imagining this, but wasn't one of the very first methods meant to be like randomly generated islands that you sail to and then you loot the island, and it has sort of almost like a dungeoneering type thing where every island's different. I don't know if I've just literally made that up, but I think that was mentioned at one point and then I think got shelved for like technical reasons maybe.
They definitely hinted at it. I actually do think it's better that there are just permanent islands, because I feel like the randomly generated just ends up kind of looking like AI slop, where it's like, the fuck is going on here? Like, why is there a monster on this like little patch that got auto generated in the weirdest way possible? Like, I just feel like there could be so much messiness with like auto generated islands. And I think there's something more charming about a vast number of islands that all kind of are unique, and you've been to one before and you're like, oh, I remember how to like get through all this shit. I don't know.
Yeah. I do, not to shit on sailing too much, I do really like a lot of the sort of like side content, I guess, that's coming with it. I think a lot of that's going to be good. New quests, new bosses, I think, like the Griffin boss, maybe, I don't know. All of that I'm totally on board with. It's just the actual sailing training I'm expecting to be not great, and that's probably quite worrying considering that should be the main focus. But I'm not sure it is.
I'm with you as well. Like, there's so much cool stuff coming out with sailing, but the actual sailing is the worrisome part to me. And I know there are some people in my audience that like just get really turned off by me saying anything negative about sailing. There's just certain people that just like, they don't want to hear it, because I feel like they kind of group anybody that is critical of sailing into like the group that's just like super anti-sailing, where none of it is good.
What you mean.
Yeah.
It's like you can't speak negatively about it on Twitter or on any social, YouTube, anywhere, Twitch, without just being immediately branded as like a doomer.
Yeah.
Especially like if you're max. Like I get it. Anytime I tried to speak about sailing, it was just, you just don't want to get your max cape back. And I'm like, bro, I've got, not to toot my own horn, but I've got 3 bill XP. I'm not worried about doing 99 sailing. Like, come on, it's not that big a deal. But it's like you can't discuss it at all without being put in that group, which I semi understand why, because there definitely are quite a few people on those socials who are they hate sailing because they just hate sailing, and they're like just really weird and sort of over the top about it. I think it's perfectly valid to just be worried about it and either not looking forward to it or expecting it to sort of flop. I think that's a pretty valid like standpoint. And you can't even really give feedback on it because you can't say just take out salvaging. Like this method sucks. It's not really good feedback that they can action at this point. But unfortunately, I think the methods do kind of look bad. So
I just hope that when it does drop, I think they're still planning on dropping it end of this year. Is that still happening, you think? Like, I'm guessing like November? I don't even know.
Nothing's been said. Which to me, I'm like, we are nearly halfway through September and we don't have a release date.
Yeah.
I don't think it's happening this year. I would be amazed.
I just hope they were very confident with them saying end of this year for sure. And I talked to some JMods and like, yeah, it's gonna happen end of this year. I was like, okay. Who knows? It's still good. It's still good. I mean, they could just randomly because some of the time updates really do just sneak up on you. Like, whoa, what the fuck? Okay, that's coming out. So
I mean, they did it with Yama. It was like it was announced at RuneFest, and it felt like it was next week almost. Just here you go. Here's a boss.
Yeah,
that was crazy.
I hope that when sailing does drop, they're very on the ball with adjusting things very quickly and making things that ironing out the kinks that people really are having just not a fun time with. Just making it better. I'm sure they will, but that needs to be the case.
Yeah, I think for me, as long as there's an engaging method, I really hope it's not another semi-AFKing is 0.7 EHP, or maybe not, let's not call it EHP, 70% efficient, like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because then just everyone is just going to do that, and all of a sudden, the new skill where Jagex finally had the ability to really make skilling enjoyable is just reduced to AFKing, and that would just be, in my mind, that's worst case scenario. That's just a flop.
Yeah,
I'm sure a lot of players would enjoy that, but for me, that's not good skilling content.
It's going to be interesting to see how much it changes the early and mid game as well. Just all the changes. Like, is that going to be the new rush? You know, are you going to rush sailing on a new Iron Man? That's going to be. I almost hope that is the case. I'm sure some of those islands, like the Tortuga Island or whatever they're calling it.
Yeah, I'm the complete opposite. I'm sort of dreading the meta changing, even if it's not. This is going to sound really silly, right?
Yeah.
I like the fact that if you're mining your sand, you're mining it in the desert. If it's like there's now a new, better place to mine sand and it's on an island that requires 20 sailing, I'm like, okay, you've not technically made it faster to get sand, but you have changed like the process a little bit. Doing updates like that is good. Doing it to like 20 different mid-game places all at the same time, that to me is the sort of thing that would make like the mid-game journey a little more like unrecognizable. It's kind of an irrational concern because it's not making anything faster, but it's just making it look and feel different. And to me, that's like another concern that I have that I really hope doesn't happen. I think if it's a few things, great. If it's suddenly, you get in your construction logs on Tortuga Island and you're mining your sand on another island, and it's best to go do your Slayer through sailing, and it's best to go do your woodcutting through sailing. Like, to me, that just it changes so much of the progression that it's not. It's what I hope doesn't happen. I think it is probably what is going to happen, unfortunately.
I hope they balance it in a way where it's not essential, but like they did with Varlamore, it feels like Varlamore really is something that is intertwined now with the early mid game, and it's just like it's a cool way to do it. I think the thing I was kind of thinking of was like that new fucking bamboo blowpipe that they're coming out with. So it's like a super early game blowpipe that doesn't involve scales or anything. It's just darts, lower level darts, I think up to adamant, which I honestly think should go up to like fucking amethyst. I think it should just be like that. The highest tier one should be amethyst, lower rune, and then addy as the top. But that sounds kind of cool to be able to get to an island relatively quick and have a fucking 2-tick range weapon that you can fuck around with at the early game. Like that kind of stuff sounds kind of exciting.
Yeah, that's one of the changes where I'm like, this is actually changing, or I think will probably change the meta, but it's weird. Like, my opinions are all over the place with sailing, right? I've just said that I don't want things to change, and now I'm like, well, actually, these blowpipes are kind of cool.
Yeah, but you're right about the
really
skilling
like
changes. We're just because I do agree with your point of like making things too different. Like, there is something kind of cool about having a sort of meta that's defined, and when it becomes way too diverse or versus like way too much going on with sailing, it can just be like kind of messy.
Yeah, I think skilling also is more like I'm obviously a lot more like touchy when it comes to changes to skilling. Like, I like the skilling meta how it is, even if that is stuff like I've never done 3-tick granite at the new spot. To me, I like to keep things how they are with skilling. I don't know, I'm weird about it. But when it comes to like PvM, mid-level Iron Man progression, I'm a lot more open. And the idea of these new blowpipes, like, it's introducing people to 2-tick weapons, which just getting used to attacking and moving with those is essential for higher level PvM. So it's cool to have people just get used to the idea of blowpipes early on, without really, like, it's not like they're not that powerful. It's not going to change too much in terms of like how much DPS you can do. It's one of those changes. It's not that consequential, but it's going to help people as they progress through the game in terms of like skill and ability, and that's the sort of mid-level update that I really like. So I think they're a great idea. Really happy with them.
Yeah, and the rest of the blog posts that they were introducing, like extended stamps, first of all, make no fucking sense, because it's like, who the hell's using stamps these days? But
I did find that funny. Yeah.
Do you have any thoughts on the run? Because you mentioned, and I totally agree, like, nobody likes walking in this game, but there should be. I mean, it just kind of is weird with the whole stamina situation. Ring of Endurance plummeted like 75% in value or more. Do you have any thoughts on balancing that kind of stuff? I mean, I know technically extended stamps, if they do them right and make it so you actually also heal 80% run, because like, or sorry, I mean like 80% with the Ring of Endurance. So like, if you, I don't know how they did say how it's going to work in the ring. I believe if you drink an extended stam, it takes 2 doses of normal stam from your ring. But what I'm hoping is that it also restores 80 run, because that's how much it should restore in a way, because it's 40 plus 20 plus 20. Because then in a place like Blast Furnace, if you really do restore 80, then you can really just drink it at fucking 0 basically and have a full,
one sip.
Is that 8 minutes? 8 minutes of fucking stamina effect? Like, that sounds dope, but I almost feel like it's overkill. Like, I think what they'd have to do actually is they have to make I would almost say the Ring of Endurance should be given a buff, which is like give you an overheal of run energy. So make it so you can go up to like, I don't know, 150 or even 200. So you could drink a stam. Actually, have it just so that you can overheal, but you can only overheal if you are 100 or lower. So you can't overheal twice. Like, you can't go to 120 and then overheal again. It would just be, as long as you're 100 or below, you could overheal to whatever it is. So if you have the Ring of Endurance plus an extended stam, you drink that, you can boost to 180, and then you're like just fucking coasting. Like, that would be cool.
Yeah, I mean, that is funny to think of. Like, free-potting as many stams as you can to get to 180. But I mean, the thing is, with like, I think it's came out at a really weird time, because with the changes to stam, like, you don't really need stamina pots anywhere aside from like a few really niche cases like Blast Furnace, I guess Hallowed Sepulchre, but there's a bank right there, so it doesn't really matter. I can't really think of anywhere else.
I guess
like,
Inferno speed running, it will be nice, because I see a lot of people walking to get back to their spawn point. Like, I see Scotty running Inferno speeds, and like he does have to walk because he will run out of run energy, so it will be nice there.
Yeah. In Will, when it comes to running in general, it's like, it's one of them that I have an opinion, but I'm not super like I don't really care. I'm quite like I mean, my opinion is very purist. Like, I don't want it to be 100% run, but
yeah,
if they did do that, I also would just be like, sure. I don't think it would, for where I'm at in the game, it just wouldn't impact me at all. So I'm just sort of very much whatever about it. But I do think people just exaggerate the issue. Like, I've seen people say that on a brand new account they quit because they were walking to Draenor or something. I was like,
you weren't built for this game if you're gonna quit.
You're in the wrong game, bro. Like, if that's your limit, I think Iron Man is not for you, bro. Like, but I do get why people have gripes with it. I don't think it's as severe as people make out personally. But then at the same time, like, that goes both ways. Like, if they do change it, it's also not that severe kind of thing.
Yeah, I like where it's at currently, and I think there's little bits of things they could still do to improve the early game experience when you don't have any stams, which is be able to grow strange fruit bushes. Like, if you could just grow those, when you get an Arty Cloak 1, boom, you're at a bush patch right there. You could just pick some strange fruit, heal 30 run. Same thing with the fucking Chronicle. There's a bush patch right next to the Champions Guild. Pick those whenever you teleport there. I just feel like there's little things that can really help with that, and I like where Run is, and I think extended stams, as long as they do it well, and I really hope they do buff the Ring of Endurance to some degree, maybe even give it like negative weight. I'm surprised it actually doesn't already have negative weight, but something where an overheal would be really nice, because again, it's like, it feels like the extended stam with the Ring of Endurance is ultimately going to be a waste, because you're going to get to 0 run and you're still going to have like 3.5 minutes of this stamina timer running. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it feels like you almost need to give that over boost. I don't know.
No, I think I get exactly what you mean. It's like you're going to run out before the timer runs out. So
yeah, you're just going to be at 0 with the stamina effect.
And pointless.
Yeah.
I really like the idea of growing strange fruit. Like, the more I think about it, I think that kind of is just the solution. Maybe not like exactly strange fruit, but just an easier to get run energy restore item that you can get before energy pots.
Yeah,
like,
no, I mean,
introduces people to the idea of having to manage your run, but there is a way to restore it. I think that's just makes sense.
Yeah, I like the strange fruit idea, because one, I think it would, and maybe you would get the strange seed from random events. So early game, you're doing your random events, you want to get that strange seed early, and then you get one, you can plant it wherever you want, maybe at the monastery or wherever, and you get 2, and now you're just fucking just pimped out. Like, you're like, all right, yeah. And also, on this point, please fucking make it double time when you're picking any allotment or bush patch or fruit tree or anything. Make it so it's the same speed. I guess allotments already have it, but like, and giant seaweed, they need to do it with giant seaweed too. Make it so you can double time it. Like, stop with the slow ass every 3 ticks picking one. It's painful.
I'm guessing you were for the demonic spade or whatever it was called.
No, I was not
for
weren't?
it.
Okay. I was
interesting.
I was for it at a very nerfed extent, because what they said was like, literally, it's just you dig and it just grabs everything all at once. Like, Jesus fucking Christ, like, dude, like,
very overkill,
they calculated it, and it was like you doing Snapegrass runs every however long, 80 minutes or fucking less, is like more OP than doing like dragon fruit and magic tree runs, because you just instantly get like this massive XP drop and plus profit. Like, it's weird.
Yeah, I was like 170 mil farming or something when that was getting talked about, and I was like, I would just do like Snapegrass at the farming guild whenever I banked, and I would do farming super passively all the way to 200 mil. Because why would you not? You can just do that several times a day, get a ton of XP, and you don't even have to worry about doing tree runs anymore. It'd be blissful.
If the Demon Spade had the ability to just gather 2 resources at once, so, and then across the board just have that double time as well, so it becomes like basically 4x on other things. I just feel like allotments, if you're gathering already the 2 every 3 ticks Snapegrass, it would just not be 4 every 3 ticks, and I just think that would have already been good enough. And a very useful update. I just think it also should have come from skilling, because it was going to come from Yama, wasn't it?
That is weird. Yeah, it was really weird that it was going to come from Yama.
Yeah,
like, that just doesn't I like why? I think they just had the name demonic in the name. They're like, okay, make it come from a demon.
Yeah.
There's just not much thought there. But I in the iteration it got polled, I voted no, but a nerfed version that is still useful, like you said. I think a rare drop from farming contracts, a rare drop from Hespori.
Yep.
I think that would go great, you know?
Yeah, I agree. I am curious just because when I pulled up your Twitter earlier, I saw June 9th, 2021, Mr. and Mrs. Thurco. And I don't feel like I mean, obviously we recorded our first episode before this had happened. But how did that all happen? Because I believe Katie was a streamer at first. Did you meet her through her stream? And I actually am just curious about that whole journey of like you meeting and then getting married.
Yeah. Oh, it's been crazy. Yeah, we literally met on Twitch. I think she had been in my chat a few times without me realizing. Like, I think it was during Fancy EHP as well, so I was super tired on all of these streams, so I didn't clock that she had been in my stream. And then I was watching someone who hosted her, and I was like, okay, I'll drop a follow, start chatting or whatever. And yeah, after that, it was just like a back and forth of just like engaging in each other's chats and stuff for not that long before we were like, I was like, right, I'm joining the Discord. It's time.
It's time.
And, it was a bit awkward because like her chat was super casual, and then it was like Thurco has joined. I don't know, it was a bit weird, but yeah, it was great. And then just started, I guess, doing the long distance thing. I went over to America a few times. She came over here a few times, including like a long, like she spent the summer here for like 6 weeks or whatever. It was really good. Like just visiting America. You probably, well, as someone from the UK, the idea of visiting America is like a really big deal, especially to like New York City. So I got to spend 2 birthdays in New York City, which was crazy.
Wow.
And obviously, pretty much everyone I worked with and stuff was super jealous about that, which was great. So yes, that was really funny. I mean, it wasn't fun having to be long distance. That's not great.
Yeah.
So we were very much like quite early on. We were sort of had like the talk, I guess, where we were just, is this going to be something serious, or are we just like fucking around e-dating? Because especially back then, there was the sort of conception that like e-dating and long distance was just like you put someone's name in your bio and you sort of just like fuck around for a few weeks and then you break up over them tobbing with someone else kind of thing. Like it was very much not serious.
Yeah.
And Kate and myself very quickly were like, right, we need to figure out like, are we just basically just being friends, or are we going to be serious? And yeah, we were both like down to actually sort of commit to moving across the world, which is just crazy. So it all moved super quick. Within like, I don't know, maybe like 6 months, it was like, yeah, okay, we commit to sort of doing some trips over, seeing if we actually get on in person, which is obviously a big thing. I think a lot. I mean, you've been in the community a lot, so you know that there have been countless times where people have been long distance or e-dating, and then they meet up and it just doesn't work, and they break up or whatever. So we were like, we need to do several trips, including one that is like a full summer, 6 weeks, which is the longest you can stay in the UK as an American without like a visa.
Mm-hmm.
And it just all went so, it was so smooth. It all just went so perfectly. So we're like, great, just move on over after she was done with school. And that's basically it. It was all like so simple. And by that, I don't mean the moving process. I mean, like, there was no sort of road bumps along the way. It very much was just like, we meet, we do some trips, everything was cool. Okay, come on over. Um,
Wow.
and then then so she moved over February 2021, and then it was like, okay, she's got 6 months on I can't remember what the visa's called. It's like a non-married family visa. They weird names. And in that time, we basically had 6 months to get married and then submit more visa paperwork, which was so stressful because it was just after COVID and everyone was trying to get married because everyone had lost a year of being able to have weddings, right? So everyone was getting married and ended up calling up the like local office, and there was a lot of very stressful tearful phone calls where Kate was trying to get like a meeting booked or whatever, and they were just like, no, got no space until August or something, and that was too late. She would have been deported. So I think we ended up just calling up and be like, look, right, we need half an hour or my fiance is getting deported, right? Help us out. And someone just came through for us and was like, oh, we have had a cancellation. Your date is Wednesday the 9th. Show up if you want, pretty much. And we're like, okay, cool. So we had like a tiny slot and we were allowed like 5 people. But it didn't really matter. We were just, yeah, perfect, fine, we'll do it. And that was great, yeah. And the feelers in the picture, Kate wearing the white and gold feelers, it cracks me up every time because it's not funny, but so many people pointed it out, and it's like it makes it so memorable because who goes to a wedding in feelers? But she had like fell down the stairs and really hurt her ankle.
Oh fuck.
A few weeks before, so she had like these expensive, like really nice heels that she couldn't wear. So she was like, she tried to wear them the day of, couldn't move. I was like, fuck, I've got what do I have that's white? Just picked up the white feelers. Crazy. But yeah, no, it was great, and yeah, 4 years now. It flown by. It feels like a lifetime, but also really quick all at the same time. There's so much sort of like there's so many stressful parts of having a wife over on a visa. Like every 2 years, we have to submit a lot of paperwork and pay a lot of money. It's like a constant sort of cycle. But we're actually doing like the last visa next year, and then after that, it will be like an indefinite. It's called indefinite leave to remain. It's like after that, you don't have to submit more visas, so we'll sort of be done with the stress, and we'll just be able to just live normally, which would be great. So there's been like a few things that we can't really do while she's on a visa, like getting a house is a big one. It's like just really difficult to get a mortgage when one person's on a visa. So that's all coming up soon, which is going to be like another crazy chapter. But yeah, that's it. I mean, it's been great. Obviously, it's been really fun, and she's doing great over here. She's got a job in tech. We both work hybrid, so Thursday, Friday, we're sitting like back to back, both working on code, which is fun.
That's
so great.
Cool. Because I was gonna ask, like, was there any chance that you would move to America, or was it pretty much settled? Like, nah, she's gonna come out.
Yes, I'm really close with my family, so I didn't really want to. So there was like, there was a question. I have actually weirdly always wanted to live in America at the time. So when it came to actually like, well, you might be able to move over. It was kind of like, oh, okay, maybe. But it came down to like a sort of a family thing. I'm really close with my family, so so she moved over here, and now not too sure about like it's sort of like it's always an option because we're married. Like I could get like a green card quite easily. At least I think. Maybe not so much recently, but like at the time, it would have been quite easy for me to move over. Yeah, I love going on holiday to America. It's so fun to go on holiday to. We're going to go early next year as well to New York, so that'll be a blast.
So cool.
Yeah,
I just always is she still playing RuneScape a lot too? Like, do you guys still play together?
She didn't play for a long time, and then when I joined Scuff Unit, she was like, I know a lot of these people. Maybe I could like play and join. And yeah, so she's been playing for 2 years now. She plays an Iron Man that is very cute. It's like quite high level. She loves skilling. She has like such a great attitude towards the game, like because all of it is brand new. She's never played a high level account before, so she has like such a good attitude. It's really like she's surrounded by like absolute giga chad gamers. Like in Scuff, you've got so many like grandmasters, like 50 plus pets, 200 mil all skillers, like so many god tier gamers, and she loves just like pottering along at her own pace, doing her like. She went like 5 times the rate on Forestry clog, but she just loved it the whole time. Like I don't know, she has such a great way of playing the game. I love it. She's gonna max eventually, which I never thought I'd see. But yeah, she's loving it.
That's so cool. That's like a couple goals, honestly, right there. Like that's what you want. But
yeah, we play Scuff Bingo. We go so hard. Like, I mean, you know that I used to be like competitive skiller, right? So they put a competition in front of me, and I'm like, I'm playing bingo 20 hours a day. And the first time we had a bingo, I sort of, I asked her, I was like, how much are we playing? Like, it asks us on the sign up sheet how much we're playing, and she's like, I reckon we could do 18 hours. So, okay. Again, 5 takeaways in a row, and we're playing 18 hours a day.
That's so cool. Fun. And it's side by side. Like, that's just fucking awesome. Or back to back, whatever you're doing. But it's so cool. I recently met this girl. She's a maxed Iron Man. I didn't meet her when she was maxed, but she's maxed since. And we've been doing the long distance thing as well. And it is definitely really cool having somebody that just gets you. You know, I feel like there's something really refreshing about not having to like hide your hobbies or like kind of downplay how much you really play, you know? So, and
because I mean, when you play a lot, it's like, how do you explain to someone that when you're like, oh, I just want to play my game for a bit, and they think you mean like half an hour. It's like, no, I want to lock in. Like, I want to do a construction 6 hour. Like, how do you explain that to someone who doesn't play? It's impossible.
Yeah, that was honestly the nicest thing, was because she knew me a couple years before we had even started talking from my Sae Bae cast. And so she already knows like so much about me. So there was like I didn't have to do that whole fucking explanation, because last year I went on like a couple dates from like dating apps, and it's just like, fuck, like I hate this. Like I hate having to either I explain myself, and then like on the first date I'm like justifying who I am as a person. Yeah. Or I eventually have to tell them, and they're gonna be like, what? Why didn't you, like, you're weird, you know? Like I just feel I don't know.
I can imagine on those sort of apps, like one of the first questions is like, so what do you do? Yeah. And you just have to explain like, right, so I'm a content creator, and they're like, on what? What do you create content on? Old school RuneScape. Yeah, I can imagine that being really rough. So
it's like you just gotta own it, but it is one of those things where many people are just like, yeah, it's just not my lifestyle to watch you game for hours. But
I saw the tweet. Sorry.
No, go for it.
Of the summer of 25. I was like, I didn't realize you two won long distance. I also didn't realize that she played the game. So I mean, that's really cool.
Yeah, maxed Iron Man. So she's wonderful, and it is long distance. She's in Colorado. I'm in Oregon, so it's not that far, but it's like a 2.5 hour flight, and it's direct.
Yeah, it's long
luckily
enough.
Yeah.
Anytime you have to fly, it's not great.
Yeah. But we have a lot of trips planned up until, I think we have like 5 more trips planned this year, which is just
cool,
super, super cool. But yeah, it is one of those things where I I love hearing your story because it almost sounds very similar, where it's like everything is just somehow working out and there's no like real issues. You know what I
Yeah,
mean? And it's just
I
very
think
exciting.
the thing that worked for us, which like as because we were like successfully long distance, I get like this sort of question, like how do you make it work kind of thing from a lot of people. And what really worked for us is you just always have to have like the next meetup plan. Like try
Hmm.
to not go. It sounds like you do. Like you've got 5 meetups ready to go. It's like what I've always just said to people is try to not have it be ambiguous when you're next meeting up, because then that's when you can start to get a bit of doubt or whatever. So we had it as soon as we did a trip. It was like, okay, when are you next coming over? When am I next coming over? Let's at least like start talking about it. And that really worked for us to just keep it like feeling real, I suppose.
Yeah, that's the real important part, and it just it really, I feel like when things are going well, it's much easier to do that because yeah, with I mean just with past like flings, you know, it's pretty it's hard to know in the moment because of like infatuation and stuff, but it's like it's so clear in hindsight, like this is not going in, this is not my
Yeah.
person, this is not going anywhere, and it becomes clear as day when it's like, okay, I want to make this work, you know.
Mm.
So yeah, it's cool though. I'm happy to have heard your story. It's just that's awesome. And then hopefully you guys are planning on getting a house as soon as like there's like that permanent visa in place.
Yeah, hopefully we've I've been saving for ages. It's just the housing market in the UK is a bit mental. I'm sure it is in America as well. It is all crazy. So we'll see what we can get, but it's definitely in the plans.
Now, are you still doing the eBay like card trading stuff? Like I'm trying to
Yeah.
remember how all that went because I remember I loved seeing those posts of like how successful it all seemed to be going. How's that going still?
Yeah, I mean,
And
it
explain it a
went
little bit, I
really
guess, for people
good.
that might not know.
Okay, so essentially 2021 I started doing Pokemon cards, buying and selling, mainly on eBay, and then I quickly transitioned into selling on Amazon. Um, Grew really, really quickly. For anyone who knows Pokemon, it's a method that a lot of people do. It's called bulk. You basically buy um the sort of the common and uncommon, like really cheap cards, and you package them up into sort of like a makeshift booster pack. So you'd put like 50 cards together, you'd put some good stuff in as well, and you would sell them on for like profit essentially. And it's aimed at it's like a nice way for parents to get their kids something where they know they're going to get like a lot more cards than a regular pack. For like you don't have to gamble on getting something really good. You can pay a little bit more and ensure that you get a good chunk of cards and something good.
Yeah.
um so that was the method that I did at first. And it went super smooth. It was really good. I think I transitioned to selling on Amazon in I want to say like late 2022, and I did 1 year on Amazon, which was just mental. It was so fast paced and so busy though, because that process that I just described is just a lot of manual work. Like there's no way to automate it. It's just a lot of work. But I think my best day I did like 250 units in 1 day, which like that's a lot of revenue. That's like
Jesus.
I don't know. Trying to think how much revenue. That's like £3,000 revenue in
In a
1 day, which
day.
is just mental.
Oh my
Yeah, in
god.
1 day. My issue was that because I was working full time at the same time, I I literally couldn't make them fast enough. Like I was
Holy fuck.
trying hard to have like a balanced life at the same time, and essentially it's also one of the reasons that I stopped streaming is like I had this other hobby at the same time, taking up a lot of time and also being really enjoyable, while streaming was sort of also taking up a lot of time but not being as enjoyable. So I sort of stopped and really focused on the Pokemon stuff. Unfortunately, Christmas of 2023, me and Kate took time off work, and we were like, right, we are gonna fling as many Pokemon cards as we can into Amazon, because the way it works is like you package them up and then you send them to Amazon, and then that's how like Amazon Prime works. Like the stuff's already at Amazon's warehouse, so they can like do the Prime delivery. So like we need to get as much stuff in as we can, because the price on these things literally doubles at Christmas because people are buying gifts. And I could make, like, between us, we could make like a year's salary in 2 weeks.
Holy
so
fuck!
It was crazy. I would never go back to it now, because I did end up changing up for a reason that will become obvious. But it was so much work, but it was so like. It was great money, and I was starting from nothing. Like I started with £50 as like my bankroll, so I was just reinvesting.
Wow.
And it was crazy. So I had £10,000 worth of Pokemon cards at Amazon. Oh, it's painful to talk about.
Oh no.
And I got review bombed, which is when one person and like a bunch of their mates all buy from you and then all leave negative reviews at the same time.
No.
And how Amazon deals with that is they essentially they ban you, and they just like, you just don't get your stuff back. Like they just destroy it.
What?
So yeah, this might be hard to believe because of the amount of like knockoffs and stuff you see on Amazon, but they are like super strict on people selling like the right stuff, like legitimate stuff. And all of them basically said like fake cards, not real, illegitimate, fraud, stuff like that. And they're just like the perfect words to trip up the Amazon system.
Oh my god.
I basically, so it got banned. There's an appeal system, and it was like, you have to prove that these Pokemon cards are real, which like, how do you do that? Really difficult. So I couldn't prove it, like to the standard of Amazon. I couldn't prove that they were real cards. So yeah, they just destroyed, like, it was like £10,000 of stock potentially. Like, if it all sold by Christmas, which it would have been like £20,000 of profit. Just got destroyed because one competitor was like, we're gonna get this guy. I could prove that it was a competitor. It didn't matter. Amazon don't care. So that was rough.
And so was that just like the nail in the coffin, just like, I'm done with this, or like what happened after?
Yeah, so I transitioned away from the bulk model, and what I now do is I now import cards from Japan into the UK, and then I get them graded. Like there are loads of companies that will. I don't know how much you know about this, but for also anyone watching, there are companies. The main one is called PSA. It's over in America, and they basically take your card and they rate it 1 through 10. And if you get the right card and you get the right grade, normally a 10, it increases the value more than it costs to grade. So that's what I do now, and I love it. It's been a bit difficult the last year. The tariffs have made like I can't send to the grading company myself anymore. I have to like go through an approved middleman, which just makes it more expensive and slow, which is frustrating. And also, global shipping in general has become very dodgy. So I've had loads of parcels go missing and stuff from Japan, which has sucked. But I do that now. It's super fun. It's so much more enjoyable than what I was doing previously, and it's a lot less like work. So honestly, like, the only reason I'm able to play RuneScape now is because I do this, like, importing instead of doing the other method. So it's been like a nice change of pace, even if it's not as much money, but it was never going to be like a full-time job for me, so it's not really a big deal that it's not as much money, if that makes sense.
Is it something that you plan to scale at some point, or is it just more a hobby and just passive income kind of?
I mean, yeah, so it'll almost certainly always stay a hobby, but it will definitely scale, because I've essentially made a bunch of apps for myself, because I'm by trade, I'm a software developer, so I saw a lot of different jobs that I was doing in this whole process where I was like, that is automatable. I can make that like a robot do that. So I spend like such a small amount of time on it now that if I don't want to, like I choose to spend time on it manually because I enjoy it. But if I wanted to, I could automate this and make, I mean, I'll just be throwing a number out there, but you could make hundreds of thousands a year, like part-time, with the systems I've set up. But the trade-off is that you would need like £500,000 in just like money just sitting around to be able to buy enough stock to do that, which unfortunately I don't. So but it's growing. Yeah, cool. I mean, yeah.
That is just so fucking cool though, to like have just jumped into that sort of blind and just with 50 pounds to start and have grown it to what it's become, even with some hurdles and stuff. Is just cool.
Yeah, it's really mental to think that I started, and the whole reason I started was like I don't want to spend my own money on like my collection. So it started as like I'll buy and sell a few things so that I can afford to buy some packs, and now it's like, oh, you're importing like thousands and thousands of pounds worth of stuff from Japan. Like, okay, sure. It's it's been a wild road.
That is crazy. Well, I guess to kind of circle back to RuneScape, and then we can kind of wrap things up. I think your whole like story is just fucking cool, and it's relatable with the relationship as well. It was really, really cool. So I guess I want to ask a couple things, which is like, what would you want to see Jagex do with old school? Is there any sort of direction that you think Jagex should sort of take, or not even should take, but a direction that you would personally like to see Jagex take with the game going forward? And also, the other question is just, what is your plan for YouTube going forward? Do you have any plans on like, is it just the series, or do you have plans on making guides or whatever else is on your mind in the world of content creation for you?
Yeah, okay. In terms of the direction, it's kind of hard to say because I think the direction they're on right now is really good. Like you said, I think it is kind of the golden age right now. I would love for there to be more focus on good skilling updates, which is like, that's very broad, I know, but I think we have like a very, very similar opinion. I've seen it, you say it in a lot of your videos, where there's so much focus on PvM, and it would be really nice for that much focus and effort to be put into a skilling update. I think it was your idea, the like bank heist thieving method. Maybe?
Yeah,
I think
mine's like the Cave of Wonders sort of idea, where you like go in and it's just like you're with all these people, you run and loot the lamp at the end, where there's other looting, and then you got to escape, and then you rub the lamp, get the XP drop, and everything else.
Yeah, I'm like, something of that sort of scope and that sort of size is like, we've been missing it for a really long time, and I think I know it feels very much like sailing has sort of dragged all of the skilling attention, but it would be really nice if there was actually really good focused skilling updates, something along the lines of like, I don't want to say like a skilling boss, because all of the skilling bosses suck, but I think that like what you've just outlined there would be a better skilling update than most of the skilling updates we've had, and it would be so cool to have something like that, some way to get more people into like late game skilling. Would be great to make just skilling more accessible in general. I don't think it will happen, unfortunately. I think they're doing a really good job with PvM updates, and that is kind of what draws people to the game. So I don't think they'll make those changes, unfortunately, but I think it would be really cool if we had a bit more focus on skilling. Whether that's before, I mean, hopefully they make more skilling updates after sailing, but I guess we'll just have to see. Yeah, I think that's like the one big thing I'd change. Oh, I'd make pets rare again. That's a big one.
Oh,
all pets are really common these days. So, oh my god, I'm getting up the chart. Right. All of the pets that have came out, this is a pet peeve of mine.
Nice.
All of the pets that have came out, thank you. Dom is like a 10-hour pet if you're good at the game, obviously.
Oh, wow. Is it actually? I did not know it was that common.
So common. And the annoying thing there is it's more common than all of the other uniques. So
you get like
that's
multiple pets green logging it.
Yeah. That's just back to front with how pets should be. Pets should always be the rarest thing because it's just a rare cosmetic.
Yep.
Yama is literally a 5-hour pet with the contracts. Even if you don't do the contracts, it's like sub 75, which is really common. Royal Titans has the sacrifice loot, really common. Huey, super common, like 50 hours. Moxie, 25 hours. Araxor with the destroy, like 25, 30 hours. Sol, the small Herodit, 1 in 200, but it's like actually 1 in 100. That is fine because it's locked behind a difficulty. But even if you're good, it's really fast. Scurious, really fast. All of the DT2 bosses, relatively fast. And then after that, it becomes quite long again. It's like, honestly, it. I talk about this way too much with like my mates and stuff, but I think there has been like the shift that they always said they would never do, them meaning Jagex, where in the past it's always been all pets isn't a goal you should go for because it's silly how rare all pets is.
Mm-hmm.
I think at some point recently they've changed their mindset to be like, actually, people enjoy getting pets. We should make them way more common so more people get pets. And I would just love if it was back to pets being like 100 hours average, I would be very happy. That is a take that I think not a lot of people would agree with, but that is my hot take for the cast: is pets are not rare enough.
Did you hear Mod Arcane's really hot take, which was he would have preferred pets to have been like, what did he say? Either 20 times more common or 20 times rarer.
Oh my days! I mean, I get his point. Like, I think 20 times is a bit crazy, but I get his point of like, they're in like this weird state where they don't really fit what they were always meant to be, which was they were always meant to be this ridiculously rare, like you don't go for this because it's so rare type drop, which is what they were all the way up until probably like 2018, 2019, like everything before then. Maybe like Sire and Hell Puppy were quite common, but at first, when they first came out, they were ridiculously rare.
Yep.
1 in 5k at God Wars back then, like no one's going for that, right?
1 in 5k DKs, silly. And they each have their own fucking version. That's nuts.
Yeah, like super rare. And I think Arcane's right. But like what he's saying, like they should be even way more rare or way more common. Is you either make them so common that everyone can just go get any pet they want and they're not a big deal, or you keep them as a super rare thing that most people don't get. And I think by being like sort of in a middle ground, especially if it's like 40 to 50 hours per pet, I think that's just like, they're not rare enough to be like crazy exciting, but they're also not common enough that you can just go and get one. I don't know. I think they're in like a really weird spot at that sort of hours per pet.
That's interesting. I've never been like a dedicated pet hunter, so I don't really have a strong opinion. I did like just the thought experiment though of if pets were 20 times rarer, meaning a Grorador pet is 1 in 100,000. I mean,
that is mental.
Because he brought up like the point was basically like when you get a pet, it is going to be the most special thing that you don't deserve.
Yeah.
Like you will not have deserved it, and it's something that you can genuinely just like flex as like, look what I got. And even getting one pet is like the coolest fucking thing ever.
Yeah.
And you're gonna just treat it so like, this is my fucking like just my trophy, basically.
I genuinely think that would be completely fine. Like, it would be really weird now if they did that.
Yeah,
but
you couldn't
I think
do it
if
now.
that's how they came out, I think it would be fine. Honestly,
Yeah.
like chuck a 1 in 100k on every boss. Like,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. And then just make it so skilling pets are just actually like a fucking 1 in 500 million XP. So it's like you're not even, you can't even expect to ever get it. There's nothing you're ever going to go for. It's just pure, just luck. And you will probably get one pet on your way to maxing, maybe.
Maybe if you're lucky.
And then you're like, fucking think you're like the king of the world. I don't know, flexing a pet that's just like, I don't know, that's just that sounds cool in a way, and it would have never been a thing to be like a pet hunter. I mean, it still would have been, but people would only be at like 15 pets right now or some crazy shit.
People would go for just one. Like,
yeah.
Oh my, could you imagine like the nibbler pet?
But the thing is, they wouldn't even go for just one specific pet. They would go well, actually maybe some psychopaths would do that, but I think it would literally just be like, hopefully my account gets the good roll of the pet I do want, and you would just basically play the game normally, going for gear and stuff, and then you would just maybe get a pet somewhere. But I feel like going for a specific, I mean, yeah, think about Nibbler being a 1 in, what would that be? Like a 1 in 4,000, I guess 2,000 technically. That would be fucking ridiculous. And then imagine going 4 times rate.
Oh my god, don't. Oh no, I'm going bad.
Yeah. You just couldn't ever expect to grind it. You just couldn't.
I think it would become similar to like shiny hunting on Pokemon, where it's kind of like you say, where you don't go for some people do go for specific ones, but most people like they don't go for like a shiny, they go for any shiny kind of thing. And that's how it would be, and I think it would be actually kind of cool.
It would be like third age, basically. Like most people, besides dedicated cloggers and stuff, most people are like, I'm not even going for third age technically, but that's a dream of mine to get a third age piece on an account at some point. It's never a specific one. It's just get a third age. And I think that's the way pets would be seen, is like, man, if I got a pet, that would be the dream. I've never gotten one, that'd be so cool. And I wonder what it would be. Yeah. It'd be an interesting game to be playing. But again, they could not change that, obviously. There's no.
Oh my god, could you imagine?
Yeah.
The next boss comes out of a 1 in 50k pet and everyone just loses their mind. It'd be so funny.
And then I guess last question, like I hinted at, was just your, I guess, future with content creation and kind of your plans.
Yeah, so I mean, you asked if I was going to do guides, which is actually a question I'm asking myself a ton, because when I think about like whose YouTube channels I like, it's the people where when they upload, it's like an event almost. Like you think like when like Guns Chili uploads, like I don't know about you personally, I'm stopping whatever I'm doing to watch that, and that's like kind of what I want to like aspire towards. I think it's obviously very hard to get there, but I really like the idea of doing just videos that are as good as I can, and the frequency is sort of not really like a part of the equation, if that makes sense. Like if a video takes 2 months, it takes 2 months. My next few, I mean, I've got all of the stuff for Grandmaster filmed, so that's going to be like 3 videos. I'm actually like 80% of the way through editing the sort of the next episode, which is going to be like the start of the Grandmaster grind. In terms of my series, I really like the idea, kind of like what we were talking about with B0aty, actually, how his episodes are sort of like, here's my goal, here's me starting it, and here's me finishing it all in one episode. Like that's very much kind of what I aspired for with like my second episode was, I easily could have made several videos about those 200 mils, but it just felt like it felt right to have all of these goals start and finish in one episode. And same with like my first episode was getting the 500 kit. It just felt right to have his one video. The whole focus is this one goal. So that's probably like what my series is going to be moving forward, is like for example, I mentioned wanting to do delve. Like one video is probably going to be, here's me, I have literally never done delve, and the end is, I have done all the CAs and Greenlock delve, and that might be like a 45-minute episode that takes me a month to record, but that's fine because there's no schedule. I just find that sort of way of making videos is really nice because it lets you like sort of define a real like start, middle, end kind of thing that makes like the video actually feel like an episode as instead of like just clips thrown together. So that's kind of my plan. Luckily, there's absolutely tons of goals to go for. I don't think I'm ever going to run out of goals, which is nice. Aside from that, I don't really know because I've not thought too far ahead with what I'm doing on my account, if that makes sense. Like, I expected Grandmaster to take me way longer than it did, to be honest. So I've not spent much time thinking about what I want to do next. I can imagine doing some clogging soon. Like, clues are really fun, but I've not done many, so there's like loads of slots available there.
Oh yeah,
could be a laugh. Yeah,
I was looking up your account. You actually don't have as many clogs. 743, it looks like.
Yeah, like I did a small medium clue stint. I think I did like, how many did I do? Exactly 300. Which is like not even that many. And then I've got easy, beginner, hard, elite, and then I've done a lot of masters, obviously going for Bloodhound. But yeah, the whole it feels strangely the game feels strangely open considering how like progressed the account is. It feels like there's so many things to go for, which is a really nice feeling. And yeah, and just hopefully making some good videos along the way is my aim.
Hell yeah. That is a good position to be in, knowing that it's not full-time content creation. It's just you can really take your dear sweet time with a video and get to that point of just like, this is going to be a banger. Well, shit, man. This was great, dude. I really enjoyed catching up. It's felt like a long time coming, honestly. I feel like the return guest, especially yours is definitely the longest, obviously, that it's been since having a guest originally to now.
I didn't realize I was cast 7. I was so sure that the cast had been around longer than that.
No, you were cast number 7. Yeah.
That's so crazy, man. That's so crazy.
That was back when like the cast was not even the cast. I don't even know what I was doing. Just kind of fucking around.
Just talking.
Yeah.
It's been great. I've not sat and just chatted about RuneScape for so long, so it's been really good.
Thurco, thank you so much for coming on. We will catch you guys in the next one. Peace.